The UK government lied about anti-Semitism again. Anti-Semitism in the Maccabi Tel Aviv fancy. The UK government lied about anti-Semitism and the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans. I'm live covering this alongside other news about Palestine, ceasefire updates, all this kind of stuff. If you see this on YouTube, the UK government lied. Sorry, I'm recording. The UK government lied about anti-Semitism and the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans again. The link to... Oh, fuck me. The UK government lied about another anti-Semitism scandal. The Maccabi Tel Aviv fans were not banned for being Jewish. I'm live covering this, the fallout, other Palestine-related updates, and more fallout from Zohran's election in New York. If you're seeing this on Instagram, link is here as always. If you're seeing this on TikTok, the link is in the bio. Fuck me. How did that take 3 times to record? Ugh. Hold on, guys. Hello, hello. Again, only 4 watchers, you fell off. Yeah, bro, this is what happens when you go on a break and go to Canada. The Canadians hate me. I ruined my reputation in Canada. That's what I'm saying. I didn't eat poutine whilst I was there. Sorry, I'm just doing this kind of stuff. You get to watch me not do anything. I need to actually clean my glasses. I cannot see out of them. They are disgusting. I got this picture of me and you. I wrote I loved you. You wrote me too. The stream is now the DXR Republic of Kunsterland. No, it's not. I have respect for DXR, but you don't get too big for your boots or there'll be a crackdown. And it will be authoritarian. There'll be no protests. Any protest will be an hour-long ban. That's what I'm saying. From the Discord and this. And don't think you'll get away with that. Right. I have seen the manifesto. I have seen it, and it won't be changing my mind on anything. It won't be changing my mind on anything. Charlie Kelly. Um, Here you go. Right. Right, here we go. Have you read our Yes, I've read the manifesto. Sorry, I'm just interacting. It's weird. I don't have any prep from being on TikTok, and I'm just straight into streaming. Hope you're all good today. It was a nice stream yesterday. It was a very busy stream. Ramalia. Hi everyone. I managed to finish up most of my animation projects so I can actually hang out. Nice. Congratulations. I'm glad to hear you got it done. Right. Sorry, I kind of feel... Some guy sent me a message. Wait, I'll show you. Wait, let me see if you can see it. Hold on. Look at this. Some guy sent me a message on Instagram. Can you see that? No, you can't see it. He sent me a message saying, which he didn't mean to send to me. He said, "Guys, no one chat to this guy. He's Israeli propaganda." I don't know if he meant me or if he just doesn't know how to write English and who he was sending it to. I have no idea. But whoever it is, I think it's quite funny. Congratulations to him. Yeah, but right, it's backwards, my guy. Well, yeah, you couldn't read it. Shows that you can't read. But I couldn't get it to focus anyway. I had trouble watching yesterday. So it was a long ass stream. It was 3 hours 20 minutes. I've got to edit that down as well. I'm gonna start uploading on the Clips channel more, because I think it's worth it. I think it's worth talking about. Yeah. Sorry, I've just seen an insane statement. I just want to see. Right. Right. DXR, why did your message get retracted? What did you actually do? Right, sorry, we'll get to it. Thanks for all the work you're doing, man. Thank you. I don't know why I'm feeling so, like, woof today. I guess it's because I didn't stream here first. Let me look what I've got in other. Oh, right, we can just start with this, because it's like... I don't know if any of you saw this. It's kind of interesting. The X algorithm prioritizes sending new users right-wing leaning content. A Sky News data and forensic investigation reveals... I mean... I'm not surprised. Yeah, but also sometimes when the message gets retracted, it's because there's something that they've sent that's, like, they've sent something that flags up, and I don't know what they'd sent. I only got an incognito, so it's just, like, not on this page. But I guess there's nothing there now. Um,
We're losing identity of our country. Somebody needs to stand up and fight for it.
We just want to protect our community.
Why? What is this with putting music over stuff so I can't listen to it? I can't listen to that. But, so this is their reporting. The dot is Elon Musk's X account. I like that. Its size represents the number of his posts sent to 9 new X users, Sky News creators. His is one of around 22,000 accounts whose posts were sent to our new users. We use this data to investigate whether the algorithm is politically biased. Wow, that's a lot of right-wing content, predominantly right-wing. Came from accounts that used hateful or street extremist violence. Behind every dot is a decision made. Did I just go down? Am I no longer streaming? Hello? What the fuck is that? But yeah. Let me see if I can find if it actually stops playing the music, because it would be easier to watch the video, because this is a long ass article.
Country.
London, English flag. London, English flag. Activist. Tech is stream.
No, it has music on. I can't. That's an annoyance. It's because it's people talking. Like, what would you do with people talking on mute? It's so annoying. Like, why are people putting copyrighted music over these short things? Like, there's no need to be putting it on. But yeah, I guess we'll just have a look at a bit of this then. Country London English flag. Country London English flag. What did you say? You got to do the voice acting. Okay, I can do that. Captions, yeah, but like,
In our country.
Let's see. It doesn't have captions. But then the first I'll just show you a funny first comment. So on this account, proper memes. Hey Grok, analyze Sky News posts and evaluate its political orientation. Sky News rates as centre to lean left across bias trackers like All Sides and media bias fact checks, with high factual accuracy but occasional favouritism towards progressive narratives. Recent posts mix neutral reporting on events like prisoner releases and typhoons, yet pieces critiquing right-wing boosts on X suggest selective scrutiny of conservative shifts. No major outlet achieves perfect neutrality. Sky's establishment ties often frame stories to downplay left biases whilst highlighting right ones. Crazy. I guess it's almost like a self-feeding loop. It's like telling someone that Sky News is left-wing. It's like a news Grok like telling people how to think, backing up these idiots and making them feel comfortable in their beliefs. Crazy. Elon Musk is a great leader, says Amy, a British woman. Oh, wait, I'll do it. Elon Musk's a great leader, says Amy, a British woman, outside the Britannia Hotel in London at an anti-immigration rally in August. She was there to vent her frustrations at migrants housed in a hotel, and says ex-owner Elon Musk's platform is the only social media she trusts. This is, by the way, as Slavoj Žižek puts it, this is like the victory of ideology, where you don't see someone who is genuinely... All of this is manipulated, but where you don't see someone who so brazenly manipulates their social media platform to fit with their own bias, and you just ignore that and think he's a great, truthful leader. That's the victory of ideology. Okay, I'll pin it. Hold on. What did someone just say about dab? A dab first thing in the morning, accompanied by an espresso and Chris is live. Nice, enjoy. Sounds like a kind of Friday I'm up for. We don't want sanctions. We don't want sanctions. We want freedom of speech. Amy's view is one resonating with a growing number of British people. A month after we met Amy, Thousands chanted Musk's name at the Unite the Kingdom march, a political rally organised by the anti-immigration activist Tommy Robinson. Musk dialed in from America, his face appearing on a screen above a huge crowd in Westminster. His speech was also live-streamed on X, the Everything app. The image of Musk in front of a sea of adoring fans was symbolic of the tech tycoon's increasingly prominent role in British politics. I just think that there was like a great video about this where it's just like, someone was, it was on Question Time, I'll see if I saved it. Someone was just like, this is because these people are terminally online. It's a post-pandemic thing. These people are just permanently online. That's it. They don't go outside, they don't talk to people, they don't do anything. They just spend all of their time on the internet, and they have done since the pandemic. And they're obsessed with the crap that they're told by it, you know? Let's see if I can find it. I want to see if I can find this.
Problem is,
here we go.
Media again. You know, part of the problem is social media again. You know, we hear about Sadiq's London, and we hear about Elon Musk saying, you know, 500 people in a village, and people coming over and, you know, raping the women. That's insane. I think the problem is that people are living on their phones and they're actually going out there in the streets. You know, people go to London, it's fine. I go a lot, it's absolutely fine. People see on the phones and they think, oh, it's scary now, but they don't leave the home.
It was like that guy who I was like talking to on my stream. He doesn't go outside. Like he lives in Scotland. He hasn't been to London in a year. He went there for a gig, and that was it. That's it. He went there, and that's it. And that's how he defines his opinion about Britain falling apart. It's because you live on these stupid apps where people are literally paid to incite racism. Like that, let's be frank here. There's a whole industry of people who, what they're doing is just it. Like, look at this account. This is someone that this woman would probably consider trustworthy.
Allahu Akbar. Hands up, like this. Good. Stay with me. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
Place them here on your legs. Now we bow down gently. Forehead to the mat, like this. Say, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la.
Subhana Rabbi al-A'la.
Lovely. Sit back up.
Look at this. This is an AI video. I've been sent this footage twice today. It shows a Muslim teacher instructing British children in the ways of Islam in school. I hope it's fake, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was real. In fact, the left will probably say they don't see anything wrong with this. My favourite part is where she tells them, look at this part.
Place them here on your legs. Now we bow down gently. Forehead to the mat, like
the AI couldn't make her put her forehead down to the mat.
this. Say,
and look at this position. She's sitting on nothing. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. But this is actually what is happening in UK schools. This is Zohran Mamdani instituted this already in New York. And this person's bio is, we must take our country back. Like, that's what this guy posts.
What is your message?
And they're just like, this is their favourite video of the day.
My message is, I can see in my mind's eye those rows and rows of white stones of all the hundreds of my friends and everybody else that gave their lives for what? The country of today. No, I'm sorry. The sacrifice wasn't worth the result that it is now.
Oh, well,
I mean, the sacrifice of the Second World War was obviously worth the world not falling to, like, Nazism. Nazism wouldn't have endured that long because ultimately Nazism has the problem of, like, German Nazism, let's be specific here, has this basic problem of it wouldn't have had a mass appeal on the basis of the fact that it believes that only Germans are racially supreme and then every race below it would compete. It wouldn't have worked all around the world. It would have never been able to. And its own and like the incompetence of Hitler drove it towards major failure. Like that would have happened anyway. I'm sorry, invading the Soviet Union, of course people are like, what if someone clever had been in place of Hitler? But no one could have replaced him. His voice, all of these things, the way he speaks, there's a reason you hear his speeches translated. But just this is an interesting thing. You get a 99-year-old and this is like their hero of the day. It's also funny because like veterans and all these people are not like above critique. Like, and you can say, hey, what do you mean by this? Like, what are you talking about? Like, are you talking about the way in which the country's become poorer? Because, yeah, that's, well, obviously, like, poverty, relative poverty, it's probably actually better. But in terms of, like, people's lives, homelessness and stuff, and the degradation of things that were instituted after the Second World War, like the NHS and stuff, yeah, okay, that kind of stuff has degraded. And we are facing social problems. But most of that is to do with the system that we chose, which is, you know, never-ending capitalism.
Sorry.
What do you mean by that, though? At this point?
What we fought for, and what we fought for was our freedom. We find that even now it's darn sight worse than what it was when I fought for it.
Oh, Alec, I'm sorry.
But you don't know what he's talking about. But of course, it's like, the UK is unrecognisable from what this man fought for. True patriot. I mean, to be fair, it is unrecognisable because, you know, you from back then you couldn't post AI slop.
Ivor calls what happened to her.
I'm just looking. I'm just looking at this guy's migrant gang attempting to kidnap Frenchmen. An Italian court is hearing the story of a 13-year-old girl who was sexually abused by a pack of Egyptian Muslim migrants in Catania, Sicily. Like, this is crazy. This entire account is just like reposting, and it gets paid to do this. It's like a network, and its profile picture is an AI mouse. It's just like, wow, what is this? From running for mayor because of AI ads he did about Cuomo. Yeah, I mean, Robert Jenrick has been posting, who's a UK politician and could potentially lead the Conservative Party. He doesn't currently lead it because Kemi Badenoch does. But she's so inept, I think she'll probably be replaced by Jenrick. And because Jenrick has bigger appeal because he's more racist, basically. That's it. What the fuck? There's a crazy video of Erica Kirk here. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, I just checked. The building's in... I don't know what... I don't know what you're talking about there. The image of Musk... sorry, right, here we go. And the past year, he's weighed on many contentious issues dominating debates in the United Kingdom. He has used his social media platform X to encourage British people to fly English flags and has endorsed fringe right-wing politicians. In a recent post, he compared illegal immigrants to monstrous fictional characters in J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings and suggested all English people would die if they did not support Mr. Robinson. When Tolkien wrote about hobbits, he was referring to the gentlefolk of the English shires who don't realise the horrors that take place far away. They were able to live their lives in peace and tranquility, but only because they were protected by the hard men of Gondor. I mean, is that not a misreading of Lord of the Rings? Because don't most of the... Like, Gondor is literally ruled by a man, Denethor, right, who's like a piece of shit. I don't remember enough, to be honest. I haven't seen or read The Lord of the Rings since I was a kid. But I think, like, the way he interprets it, in my understanding, what it's also more to do with, rather than, like, this kind of racist rhetoric, is that it's basically to do with the encroachment of, like, industry into small villages around Birmingham, basically. I still don't believe Musk has read any books. No, he hasn't. Elon said something along the lines of, if you don't, yeah, he says it here. What happened to the nice man who was brutally murdered while walking his dog will happen to all of England if the tide of illegal immigration is not turned. It is time for the English to ally with the hard men like Tommy Robinson and fight for their survival, or they shall surely all die. Tommy Robinson, in many ways, is corrupted. He's a corrupted individual, so perhaps he's like Boromir, Sean Bean in The Lord of the Rings. In the, well, I guess Sean Bean at least did something, or Boromir did something beneficial when he died. He saved the hobbits, but Boromir was corrupted by the ring, right? With these comments, Musk is flexing his ability to influence the political debate in a country where he holds no formal authority. He does, however, have the power to control narratives on X, formerly Twitter. It's called X, the Everything app. And now a Sky News investigation can reveal the platform is boosting right-wing content, extreme content, and politicians Musk favours. The X-Files. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. It has been over 3 years since Musk walked into what was then Twitter's headquarters with a sink and a promise to turn the platform into a haven for free speech. He has criticised other social media companies for being controlled by far-left activists, with the content filtered through a far-left San Francisco Berkeley lens. Berkeley lens. Berkeley. By the way, it's not. Like, Meta, the biggest social media company, right, is owned by Mark Zuckerberg. They're all owned by right-wing billionaires. Like, the vast majority of them were at Trump's inauguration. Who even owns another social media company? What, like China and TikTok? But TikTok's been pretty censorious for a while. Like, the idea that they're owned by far-left billionaires or that they perpetuate far-left narratives is wrong and a lie. Even before he took over Twitter, of course, had a right-wing turn. He was executed by Joffrey. I'm sorry to hear that about poor Boromir. In an effort to run things differently, he renamed the company, fired roughly 80% of the staff, and promised to make the algorithm's code open source. That code was posted to the website GitHub in 2023 and was last updated in September 2025. I mean, but also, by the way, I wouldn't blame Elon Musk entirely for this. I think Elon Musk's understanding Elon Musk and like thinking that everyone is just influenced or tricked by this guy completely misunderstands the fact that people like racism. People always have liked racism. They find enjoyment in the suffering of others and making others suffer. And that's what this guy sells. An ex-spokesperson told Sky News that the algorithm will soon be fully powered by AI, at which point X will open source the algorithm every 2 weeks or so. By December, they say users will be able to adjust their feeds dynamically by asking X's AI tool Grok. No one is going to do that. Literally no one is going to do that. As it stands, the open source code gives an insight into how the algorithm behaves, but experts say it is far from the full picture. X do have a version of the algorithm online, but it doesn't really tell us how decisions are being made, what content gets amplified and what doesn't, says Jen Goldbeck, a computer science professor who studies social media and extremism at Maryland University. The CEO, I know, is ByteDance is based in Beijing. Yeah, but it's being sold off over to America, right? He's not Chinese, right? Yeah. I'd forgotten that. There's that thing where he keeps going, Senator, I'm not Chinese. One of the only ways to audit the algorithm today is to create new accounts and see what content surfaces. We created 9 new X users, each one emulating a British person with a particular leaning. 3 were left-wing users, 3 were right-wing users, and 3 were neutral, designed to show no interest in politics. Over the course of 2 weeks in May, we collected posts from the users' For You pages. Essentially, their homepage for recommended content twice a day. That gave us a database of around 90,000 posts from roughly 22,000 accounts. We worked with independent academics and researchers, including Dr. Goldbeck, to categorize the political leanings of around 6,000 accounts whose posts showed up most in our dataset. Analyzing the data helped us understand what content the algorithm prioritizes.
Especially, it's going to very, very long. Unite the Kingdom rally, 25.
Oh, actually, there is a video.
Speech of reasons for a long time. That is, until now.
Central London, September 2025. 150,000 people marched shoulder to shoulder to Westminster as part of Tommy Robinson's Unite the Kingdom rally.
Here at the front of March, Tommy Robinson's just there, thick throng of security, heavily protected, giving a lot of cheers, a lot of waves. This march extends a very, very long way behind us. A huge number of people who've turned out today behind that man, Tommy Robinson.
I've been following the rise of the right for some time now, how its online networks translate to real-world action.
There's a lot of police here. It's a huge policing operation. This is the hotel at the centre of it, which has seen a series of protests.
And the protest in September was hardly a standalone event. It was the crest of a wave that had been surging ever higher. Only weeks earlier, we'd stood outside the Britannia Hotel in Canary Wharf as protesters squared up to each other on the topic of illegal immigration and asylum hotels.
Refugees not welcome here! Refugees not welcome here!
Whatever your opinion on the ground, you're able to voice it. But as well as shouting, people are tweeting.
I love there's just people holding Israel flags.
Too. And on X, they're saying something different.
General impressions are one thing, but we needed to go beyond that. To uncover real evidence about whether there's a shift on X and what's driving it, Sky's Data and Forensics Unit set up a massive months-long experiment.
We want these accounts to kind of emulate the most average X user as possible.
Caitlin Tosh is a crazy name. Tosh means rubbish.
Apart from who they follow, because that's what allows them to emulate a certain political leaning.
We set up 9 new box fresh.
That's the thing. You say zero melanin. There are people who aren't white. Because what the EDL and what Tommy Robinson claim is that their arguments are based on culture. It's how they distance themselves from previous bouts of racism.
Accounts on X and left them to run so we could get a clearer picture of how the X algorithm was working. Between them, our new X users saw nearly 90,000 posts we save for analysis.
We're talking about a vast amount of data, a vast amount of work that your team has done.
We teamed up with data analysts to train a large language model, an AI tool, to sift through the posts and categorise their authors into left or right, and whether those posts were extreme. In other words, authors whose posts included toxic language, endorsement of violence, or conspiracy theories, something that happens on both the left and the right of the political spectrum.
Each of our clean accounts emulated British people with different political leanings. 3 on the left, 3 on the right, and 3 in the middle, following more neutral accounts like sports or music. But the result was that every account, no matter their political orientation, was fed a glut of right-wing content. Musk's own post dominated their feeds, but the politicians he backed were also amplified, and outrage was prioritized. This is
so obvious. Like, all of this stuff is obvious. There's definitely, by the way, also, because of the way that left-wing politics operates, the way that left-wing politics operates is like, you need to be thinking more than just a few word tweet. This kind of stuff is literally just, all you need to hear is migrants bad and these people lap it up. That's what these people want, and that's why they're always going to have a broader appeal on X. And I don't think that that should be dismissed, that X is set up this way anyway. I don't think we can sit here and actually just say, well, this is all because of the way that Elon Musk changed the platform, and I think it buys into silly stuff. Don't bake your beanie babies. I'm going to be doing that. Baked beans are blatantly American because Lenny and George eat them at the beginning of Mice and Men. Also, I'm going to set up a donation goal on Sunday. There you go. That's your donation goal. Hit it and you'll get it. A gaming stream on Sunday.
isn't just biased, it's algorithmic amplification.
And I'll let you choose what I play. I don't know if I can play something online because the internet here is bad, but I could maybe play... I've not played Dark Souls 2 in years, so could play that, I guess, or something like that. I don't know. I guess I'd probably be playing something anyway, so I can stream it.
Reshaping the political conversations in Britain.
Over 2 weeks, we collected 300 posts per account twice a day, around 90,000 posts from nearly 22,000 accounts. We used the LLM, that AI tool, to categorise the political leaning of 6,000 accounts, those whose posts showed up most frequently in our data. We then narrowed it down to 2,500.
Yeah, I'm not playing something like Hearts of Iron. I'm not playing Hearts of Iron or Europa Universalis. I've never played them. I've never played Disco Elysium. That's a good idea, actually.
focusing only on those accounts that posted about politics. And what we found was that, across the board, right-wing content was shown much more often to our X users, regardless of their political leaning. It represented 62% of all content served up, here in pink. Let's break that down. Remember our left-wing users. This shows what they saw on the platform, and more than 40% came from right-wing accounts. Compare that to our right-wing users, and look, they saw much less left-wing content and a lot of right-wing content. And then the neutral users, who we designed not to show any interest in politics. They saw twice as much right-wing content in the pink.
The only thing I will say about the left X users, quite often people who are leftists post, the way in which they post is by responding to right-wing morons. So it kind of feeds you that anyway. But like, I mean, this is kind of unsurprising.
Here than they did left-wing in yellow. Experts like Jen Golbeck, an American researcher who studies social media and extremism, says the fact that the X algorithm was feeding our new users content that they weren't necessarily interested in seeing suggests something else is at play.
There are ways that we would expect a neutral algorithm to behave. You set up a new account, you follow certain people, and those follows are reflective potentially of your political leanings. And if you don't see that in an experiment, then there's a suggestion that for one reason or another, there's something else at play that's prioritizing showing certain political views.
So we decided to measure how often the different accounts that cropped up in our dataset used extreme language. And we found that around half of the posts came from accounts that did use that language. Of the accounts that used extreme language, we found that around a quarter of the posts came from accounts on the left of the political.
I'd love to know what constitutes extreme language on the right.
Political spectrum, while 72% of posts came from right-leaning.
I don't think you realise, like, I'm not that bad at games. Like, I'm all right. Like, I used to be good at Counter-Strike. I was like supreme in like 2013. I just haven't played anymore. I don't play anymore. The only games I never really got any good at was FIFA. Like, even though I played a lot of FIFA, but I think that's just because I didn't have the patience to just exploit the game. And I was all right at Dota. I just haven't played consistently enough in a long time. Like, I just haven't had the time to play it all the time that you need to be good.
Accounts. That suggests that the algorithm is more likely to promote extreme language from those on the right.
Since Elon Musk took over X.
And also, just to say your thing here, I remember this one American YouTuber did a video about how many videos it took you to get sent to the far right pipeline. Yeah, alt-right pipeline. And their intro used a socialist song from East Germany. Nice, I've not heard of that. But yeah, I mean, like, that doesn't surprise me. It's not a new phenomenon.
There's an opening up of the algorithm towards more extreme content. And at the same time, more progressive accounts have left the platform. What we see in X in 2025 is that there's no equivalent voice to counter political spectrum sides. They've left.
There's no way to counter it. These platforms are set up for it.
Vacuum of communication. And now there is no one to push back on some of these disinformation narratives which can get out of the gate extremely quickly. The fact that this research has shown there is no equivalence between what gets served to the right of the political spectrum and the left of the political spectrum, that suggests an algorithmic bias. And an algorithmic bias must be decided by senior people at the channel.
And that's a huge concern for many centrist and left-leaning politicians in the UK, right to the very top of government.
I can sum up the threat for you in 2 words: Elon Musk. He thinks he can tell us how to run Britain.
Well, our findings suggest they're right to be worried. I spoke to Liberal Democrat leader Ed Davey, who's been leading...
I don't think that you should just blame Elon Musk. Blame the degradation of the country that your party, Ed Miliband, helped to institute and is still furthering, adding fuel to the flame, because these people aren't becoming right-wing for no reason. Hello, Tony Soprano lover. Once I made a right-wing Twitter account, I had to. Once I made my Twitter account, I had to keep blocking right-wing Twitter accounts. Yes, I know it's ridiculous. You have to keep saying that you disavow, that you are not interested in their posts, but they come back eventually.
A campaign against Musk's interference in British politics.
I think what we're seeing here is something we've never seen before. the extremes on both sides, on right and left, the divisiveness of it that is being pushed by Elon Musk and X has never ever happened before. I think these findings confirm what a lot of us feared and suspected from our own feeds but couldn't prove. So really amazing piece of research, and the way it's so academic and so well founded is a major contribution to the debate that I think we have to have.
We know that Elon Musk, when he bought it, he was talking about eliminating the woke mind virus, but that emphasis on boosting right-wing content, what do you make of that?
It's almost as if X seeks to divide us as a country, divide us to the extremes, and that is deep.
Also, once again, so one of you mentioned it earlier, just this both sides crap. Like, I'm sorry, what are you talking about? So, by the way, also, you've got to realize, like, this is the kind of thing. Part of how social media operates is stuff that makes you outraged is going to be pushed to you because that keeps you on the platform. You have to realize that your enjoyment of social media in part comes from the stuff that you are outraged at and seeing people react to it and developing your own reactions to it.
Unhealthy and wrong, frankly.
And I think that actually the more important thing to talk about is like the mass onboarding. The fact that like people who'd barely ever used social media prior to the pandemic, the pandemic were just all of a sudden were all over it. Were like all over the platform, like just doing crap, like just posting crap and interacting with crap. And AI slop gets you more and more. AI slop brings you more and more into these problems.
And, you know, you will have Elon Musk say, well, he's a champion of free speech. I just don't buy that. I think he's a champion of free speech that he agrees with. And he's interfering in the free speech of our country. And that's why I think we should get a lot more serious and try to push back very hard.
What David describes as interference isn't down to just the algorithm. Musk, who also happens to be the most followed account on X, has an outsized influence on the posts that users see in other ways. Generally speaking, you'd expect people who posted more to show up in the feeds of our new X users more often. And you'd largely be right. Rishi Sunak, down here, doesn't post a great deal, and he's almost down in the bottom corner.
Oh, that's awful news. That is awful news.
Keir Starmer posts a bit more and was shown more often to our accounts than the former PM. But there's an outlier. Left-wing former MP George Galloway posts a lot. The share of his posts in our feeds is next to zero. And Rupert Lowe...
We can't deal with George Galloway. George Galloway is too subversive in his politics. The media has to silence George Galloway because of because of how tough he is. And yes, Rupert Lowe gets promoted, but also because Rupert Lowe's tweets are cathartic to people. They're just racist hate. That's what they are.
An independent MP who left Reform to start his own right-wing party after falling out with Nigel Farage doesn't post that much. But our accounts saw a huge number of his posts by comparison. There could be lots of reasons for this. But
this is also just generally the problem with right-wing Twitter. But also, by the way, this is a problem with media in the UK. The fact that any right-wing shithouse is uplifted and brought on our media constantly, but left-wingers have to do it, like, have to go and fight for it. Like, let's be frank, how many people have brought me on anything news-related? None.
One thing we noticed. Elon Musk's support doesn't hurt. Each of these bars represents a post from Lowe that got retweeted by Elon Musk. Engagement, that's the number of interactions a post receives, for the majority is in the tens of thousands. But it's this dotted line that tells us everything. It shows us the average engagement Lowe would have got without a boost from Musk. Lowe told Sky News, "Even a dinosaur like me understands that if content is engaging and popular, it receives more attention in the algorithm. There is no conspiracy. It just turns out that British people enjoy some straight talking from a politician for a change. Mass deportations are popular, and the algorithm picks up on that and rewards it." Ben Habib.
But also, I think that this is entirely an internet world as well. I do think that there's like a real world in which most people are generally predisposed to be slightly left-wing, or are also people who are just generally not interested in this kind of extremism because they know people and they're friends with them. My dad loves Galloway. Galloway's not a great guy, to be frank. Like, Galloway is not a great guy. And I wouldn't just say Galloway is, like, amazing and lovely. I'll just say that much.
Was the deputy leader of Reform. He also left after falling out with Nigel Farage. In June, he created his own political movement called Advance UK.
He's been publicly endorsed by the likes of Tommy Robinson and Elon Musk.
Hi, Ben. Hi, sorry about
They say they've gained 37,000 members since they launched. So I went to meet him to learn how much of that success was owed to Musk and X.
It's definitely changed, undoubtedly changed. But certainly we're getting, much more traction on X than we did before. Mainstream media doesn't give us the airtime that we would like. And we've now got 37,000 members, driven completely through X and through podcasts and YouTube, social media. So when people say X isn't the real world, of course, two-dimensionally it isn't, but it does connect you to the real world and it does have real world impact.
So if you're one of Musk's chosen politicians, the algorithm and his endorsement...
I'm glad I deleted X long ago. Too much of a headache. Oh, I wouldn't say that. Who doesn't love X, the everything app? You're missing out on Grok, Noxolotl, but thanks for the donation.
...will boost you. If you're not, they won't. Samira Ali is one of the organisers of Stand Up to Racism, a pro-immigration group we met at the protest in London. A lot of their X account is made up of posts advertising anti-fascist rallies and counter-protests at marches organised by the right.
That was a random woman who wanted to speak at the demo.
And she says their engagement on X has fallen off a cliff in the last few years.
In the past, we've done a lot better on Twitter, but it has really gone down. Even when we post the far right is what goes viral.
Really?
Yeah, some from a Tommy Robinson demo, them chanting something heinous. People that will go viral. Obviously, the algorithm picks up the far-right stuff more than ours.
Bruce Daisley was in charge of Twitter for Europe, the Middle East and Africa before Musk bought the platform. He says this trend on X is having a real-world impact.
What does Elon Musk's control of Twitter mean for British...
I would say that the real-world impact of this... this is also someone who influenced politics, undeniably. Of course, but the real-world impact is just there are a lot of people who feel comfortable saying more and more extreme things.
Democracy. Just in terms of the platform, the politics on it, what seems to be pushing more of right-wing narratives, according to our data that we found.
If you open the app on your phone and you immediately see a news agenda that maybe feels more adversarial, maybe filled with more hate towards certain groups, it's going to have an impact. And that's not to say that free speech can't exist, but if 8 million people every day are opening their phones to see a news agenda that maybe is right to the fringes of what we're used to, at the very least, we should have some visibility of the impact that's going to have on politics.
I would say that the other thing is I think that you put it well, Pokrush. The racism was always there. It's just streamlined now. Yes. It's streamlined there and it's given to people in an appealing way. They like up their AI slop. They're these people who post the AI fake stuff never get taken down.
One of the big decisions that Musk took was to reinstate Tommy Robinson's account on the platform, something Robinson said he was grateful for. It's allowed him to build a huge audience on X. In July, he posted his own analytics, showing tens of millions of views in just 1 week. He turned that digital audience into boots on the ground with the Unite the Kingdom rally, and again thanked Musk.
Thank you to Elon Musk, man. What a moment. What a moment. I got 20 minutes out of Elon Musk's time. He gave that time to you, the British public.
The appreciation is mutual. Musk reposted that thank you and went on to say that with the threat of illegal immigration, it was time for the English to ally with the hard men like Tommy Robinson.
He's sort of gone beyond the traditional party politics. We need to consider whether we want our politics to be controlled and influenced by that.
We put all our findings.
Eventually, this system of racism will be embarrassed like it was during the Second World War. But getting to that point again is troubling and horrifying.
To X. A spokesperson said, X is dedicated to fostering an open, unbiased public conversation. And we want our users for You timeline to deliver relevant and diverse content. Key to this mission is our commitment to unprecedented transparency across X, from being the first to publish our recommendation algorithm and open source the code that powers it, to creating the first fully AI-powered algorithm, which Elon Musk has promised by the end of the year. The spokesperson added that community notes allow X users to collaboratively add context to potentially misleading...
It's amazing, because that community notes feature worked at first, then now it just does not work at all.
...posts and supports the work of our safety team to combat misinformation, ensuring accountability and trust for all our users.
In a perfect world, our social media feeds would show content from accounts we followed, sorted and ordered by an impartial algorithm. But our research has shown that is not the case. It's influencing what people are shown, what they believe. Some accounts, the narratives they promote, are favoured, even boosted. If Elon Musk is able to shape political debate and decisions just by tweaking some source code, well then the digital town square has really become private.
But it was never, oh my god, once again, here's the problem. The digital town square has become private. It was owned privately by a private company previously. It is not a new thing. Please stop saying this kind of stuff.
Property. Fundamentally, months of investigation and hundreds of thousands of data points come down to one man, Elon Musk, and his influence through X. What does it mean for our politics?
Right, that has music on. I'll probably not be able to show that anyway. I'll probably have to take it out, sadly. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's insane. But yeah, someone asked, did you see what happened last night? Yeah, so last night there was a football match in the UK. Maccabi Tel Aviv versus Aston Villa. It's a Europa League game. Maccabi Tel Aviv, obviously an Israeli team, versus Aston Villa, a team based in Birmingham. If you don't know where that is, that's where the Peaky Blinders is set. So it was the Peaky Blinders versus the Irgun and Stern gang. Welcome back, 1948. But no, so that was what was going on last night. And there are some really insane posts to do with this. There was a guy yesterday called Josh Howie, who's apparently a comedian. Don't really know how you could consider this idiot a comedian, but he's just an idiot. And look at this. Like, this is the level of journalism that was going on yesterday. This Maccabi Tel Aviv fan has travelled to Villa Park to protest the decision to ban Israelis from attending their Europa League clash versus Aston Villa. Brilliant journalism from the Daily Mail Sport. That's not just like a random... That's Yosef Haddad, an Israeli government propagandist.
Why are you here? Well, basically, I'm here because we need to stand against any hate, any crime of hate, and of course against antisemitism, and against the fact that people who just want to come...
At the British Zioness. The British Zioness has paid for these. Wait, let's have a look. The British Zioness. Also, kind of crazy that like you'd put out a message like that and just use it for a... At the British Zioness. I can't find this account. That you then use it... Oh, it's this account. The British Zioness. Advancing meaningful Jewish dialogue. The British Zioness is committed to advancing meaningful dialogue and policy solutions on Jewish issues and anti-Semitism through strategic communications, international engagement, and evidence-based research, while building influential networks that drive positive institutional change. Learn more about her mission and her fascinating story here. We'll be reading about Tali's story. Known as @the.British Zioness. I don't think she really has like much of a... This is the British Zioness, by the way. Wow, the British Zioness. Who doesn't love like the British Zioness? She's not like even a popular pro-Israel influencer.
Interesting conversation the other day.
Okay, ladies, who's got the actual Israeli football t-shirt on?
Not Israeli football t-shirt. She got a Zionist.
None of us have Israeli football t-shirts. None of us.
She was just posting. Here she was yesterday with Yosef Haddad's wife, Emily Damari. If you see a Zionist, call the anti-terror hotline. That's just them posing in front of them. It's just generally, I generally like this kind of stuff.
Hey everyone.
I can't show this because it's got music on.
Okay, ladies, who's got the actual Israeli football t-shirt on?
Not Israeli football t-shirt. She got a Zionist.
None of us have Israeli football t-shirts. None of us. Look. This has nothing to do with Maccabi.
What? Yeah, but it's Zionist.
Yeah, but...
But it's Zionist.
Wait. But it's an organization. And it's heavy. We're not doing it.
Just bear with me a minute.
Not being allowed to wear a football top in a football stadium is a new one. It's like these people don't even care about football. Half the people there yesterday didn't. Like, this is just a pro-Israel account. What does she post on Substack? Wait. Manchester synagogue attack on Yom Kippur. What does recognizing the state of Palestine mean? This is just a new government, Israeli, probably government-funded, like, influencer or disinfluencer. Like, she's literally just entirely new. The British Zionist X. She doesn't even have an account. I don't know who this is. Oh, I have found her. She has 100. She has 100 followers, and look at her last account. I stand with the Druze. Do you? Brilliant. Like, just this is what's going on. So she's managed to pay for this with what money?
And watch football in England, and they're not allowed because they're Jews or they're Israelis.
This guy isn't Jewish. He's not Israeli. Sorry, he is Israeli. His whole shtick is being an Israeli Arab. That's like it. That is literally it. That's all it is. He just does this kind of stuff to make money. He got his legs blown off in southern Lebanon, and that's like his story.
And this is something that's unacceptable. We should be able to arrive here to Villa Park, watch our team playing football, but obviously we're not allowed. This is sad. And this is 2025. We're going back to 1940s again, all over.
I forgot that the 1940s were about... I don't think he's even a Maccabi Tel Aviv fan. I don't think he actually is. But anyway, going back to the 1940s, I forgot that the 1940s was largely about the presence of people who'd engaged in violence in Europe all over football. They're not allowed because they're not violent. No, exactly. But the problem is that the UK government influenced this. Long time no see, Kungas. There's hello and welcome back to anyone who hasn't seen me in a while.
So I really hope that being here, protesting, legal protest, peaceful protest, and saying that enough is enough, and we need to be able to be where we want if we were not doing anything wrong. And this is a message that should be simple for everybody else.
This guy is such an idiot, man. But like, this is kind of the thing that was this is kind of the thing we just had to hear constantly about how these people are victims, that what they did in Amsterdam was like, you know, the result of a Jew hunt and all of this stuff. It's just insane that this is like the level of, and it's not just like a bit of media crap. This is British politics. Like, listen, this is like talked about in the upper echelons. Listen to this.
Well, many Jewish Aston Villa fans have said they won't come, partly through safety fears, but also because of anger at the original decision not to let Maccabi fans come. Elliot remains determined to bring his teenage son to tonight's game.
I think it's important to stand up, right? And it's important that we don't let the people who don't want us around to prevent us from doing the things we want to do. I want to be able to be there, and I want to be able to show up, and I want it to still be the case that we can go to Villa games, we can do things in Birmingham, and they can't scare us.
These are some of the messages that have been shown around the ground tonight.
Ban hatred, not fans. Just ban Israel then. There's your answer. In fact, you know what? I agree with endorse that message. Ban all Israeli football teams. They shouldn't be allowed there. Israel should be nowhere near any sporting event. Like, nowhere near any sporting event at all. They're genocidal thugs, and the State of Israel is a genocidal entity premised on the extermination of the Palestinian people. And it's crazy because, as I say, this isn't just like some meaningless thing. This is something that's talked about by, like, in the upper echelons of British politics. It's like,
However...
And I hope you will remember this story, because I deleted a tweet about this, but I was foolish to do this. This guy claimed to be the president of some Jewish fans organisation called Jewish Villains. There is one tweet which mentions this. Apparently he has nothing to do with any of this. Like, barely anything. They don't go to any of the events that they're meant to be going to. This is just a totally fake organisation.
In the last 24 hours, I've had online death threats over this issue. I was threatened to be stabbed if I went to the game. And, you know, if they can't protect Maccabi Tel Aviv fans, how can they protect my Jewish friends when they're walking around wearing an Aston Villa shirt and a Star of David? How can they protect me when I'm getting...
Because no one would really care. Like, there are examples of people who would target them, but it's not people who care about Maccabi Tel Aviv. Because it's not like this is a protest on the basis of Jewishness.
Death threats online. You know, this is really serious stuff. So I think the police generally do a great job, but they do owe us a better explanation as to what's actually going on here. Everyone just wants to go to a football match safely, enjoy the game, enjoy our magnificent stadium at Villa Park, and hopefully see an Aston Villa win, and that's what everyone wants. So without fans in the stadium and the opposing away end, that is going to impair the experience. So I would like to see the local council and the police do everything they can to facilitate this as a normal football game where everyone can enjoy the match in safety.
Is he wearing a pimple patch? No, it's just what his face looks like. There's just a little bit here. I don't know if you can see. I think you can see my mouse, but there's a little bit here where it looks like he's wearing a pimple patch just there, but I don't think he is wearing a pimple patch. But yeah, like, this is just insanity, and that was a while ago, and we covered that previously. But like, when you just hear this guy talking and you just hear the crap that they're talking about, it's just ridiculous. And then we had young Bob there, of course. This is another favourite account. Someone said he looks like a character from Royston Vasey, which is from The League of Gentlemen, a British comedy. And I do tend to agree, he's a very strange-looking kid.
Aston Villa football stadium, where, of course, the labelled "If You See a Zionist" called the anti-terrorist hotline propaganda has been posted all throughout the local area in antithesis for the national demonstration for Palestine.
The funny thing is that this guy's not even a very good, like, public speaker. Like, this is a pre-recorded video, and he's, like, in antithesis. He's not, like, whenever he does anything, but he's obviously just promoted by, like, far-right X account, really.
There's been more abbreviations that you'll be being able to see on screen, and this goes in comparison to the anti-Semitism posters that have been plastered all throughout Aston Villa football stadium.
By the way, also, none of this is in Aston Villa football stadium.
Arguing that their ban of Maccabi Tel Aviv fans is a form of inciting division within a very multicultural area.
Why is this video so bad? I don't know why you can't edit it, even if you're outside. Like, why does it have, like, a long pause at the end? It is very simple to edit. And yes, he literally wants to be a British Charlie Kirk clone. I'd love to talk to him about Palestine. I'd love the opportunity to talk to this very clever man. Clearly a very, very tough chap. Sorry, there's a fucking fly in here. I don't know where this singular fly has come from. But, like, once again, here's a photo of someone holding up a Maccabi Tel Aviv flag inside Gaza. I think the hard and frank truth is, you cannot have people who've participated in genocide in areas that are predominantly Muslim, in areas where there are people who are going to be opposed against genocide. They should be welcome nowhere. Like, whatever you say, Israel has genocided the Palestinian people.
Just to express their areas and the ban.
There's another video that I can't watch. But yeah, there were like clashes, but well, not really clashes actually. It was surprisingly a lack of clashes. It must have been policed very heavily, but yeah. There's our hero, young Bob. There's our man. There's our man on the inside, young Bob. He's like, it's really sad. His family have kicked him out. I don't know if any of you know about this. There's a really, maybe we should talk about this because it kind of factors into the young Bob. And in many ways, I want to laugh about this kid because it is comical. But then there's an even worse one. Both him and this other guy have been kicked out of their homes. The other one's like this gay guy. But this guy's family member constantly posts. He has like a transgender family member who constantly posts on social media about like how none of the family have anything to do with this kid because of his behavior. They actually say that he's been radicalized by extremists. He's like 17 years old. I don't know why you aren't allowed to chant that. Like, people, it's so crazy that we're meant to believe that Bob Villain are like the most evil people in the world for chanting something that is objectively like not inappropriate, you know.
Brothers and sisters, the chant to support the Villa tonight
Yeah, that's the video I was about to talk about. We didn't watch this. I'm obsessed with this video. So this is a guy called Hugh Anthony, who's like an open and overt Nazi on social media.
Open the door, my house, I pay for this shit, why not?
Womp.
Why not?
Womp.
Oh my god, I pay for this house, I'm phoning 999, telling to tell you, you are...
And what? And what? You're threatening me because we have a difference in opinion. You're gonna smash the door open. Go on.
I think kicking out your Nazi son is objectively a good thing. He'll never be the Nick Fuentes of Britain. I mean, like Nick Fuentes, he is also, you know, allegedly gay. No, this guy actually is gay, whereas Nick Fuentes is only alleged to be gay. I apologise.
Smash the door open then. Do it. And what? Throw me out because we disagree? You're pathetic. I fucking hate you people. I always have. Yeah. How do you think Nana and Gran are gonna react? You wonder why they're so... Go and smash it open.
Do you think it's like Nan and Grandad are just like Germans from the 1930s and 40s?
We disagree. I want to preserve my people and you want to hurt me because I want to preserve my people. Why? Smash the door open. Do it. Prove it. Prove it. No, if you want to smash the door open because I disagree about who should be in this country, do it. If you want to smash the door open because I disagree who should be in this country, do it. You go drunk and this is what happens. I can't. They live in Grimsby, mate. It's way too far away.
Do you want to leave?
Like, why are you on Discord? Why are you recording this?
No.
Why not?
Why are you just on Steam as well?
All you're going to do is shout at me because you're drunk. I don't even understand. What is your problem? What
His name is Sarcastic Meerkat.
is your problem? What is your problem? You're going to regret this in 10 years' time when I don't speak to you anymore. Mom, you're going to regret this in 10 years' time when I don't speak to you anymore because you rejected me when I was right. You're going to reject this in 10 years' time when I have nothing to do with you.
Unfortunately, I can't find Sarcastic Meerkat on Steam. What a name, though! Sarcastic Meerkat.
This is the end, okay. They're going to reject it in 10 years. Do it then, because you're trying to smash my door open, because I disagree. Oh, she's crying!
Apologies for my voice in this video.
Sorry, I've just got Dark Souls 2. How to get both illusory rings easily. No death/bonfire run. Don't worry, I wasn't CSGO gambling.
Radicalized.
Why are you logged out of Steam? Exactly. Isn't that just the most generated username in history? I've got no idea. There's a really funny bit coming up, though.
What's your address? Concern he's harming himself.
I'm not harming myself.
What's your concern with him in his room?
I'm a political commentator.
I love that bit. I'm a political commentator.
Really right wing. He's posting
Oh my
stuff
God.
online. He's shouting at us and refusing to come at his
This is so dramatic.
I'm so sorry.
His dad, though, comes up the stairs looking terrifying. I do feel bad for his mum, don't get me wrong. Like, imagine having a kid like this.
You don't scare me, Dad. Do I not? No. What is wrong with you? Why are you assaulting me?
Do I not?
Why are you assaulting me? Why are you assaulting me?
Shut the fuck up, you parasite.
I have brought you up for fucking 20 years.
Let me leave.
What the fuck have you become?
Let me leave.
What have you become?
You know, his parents are conservatives as well. It's literally that just he's a Nazi.
Let me leave. Jesus Christ, we're not.
Then let me walk out that door. Let me walk out that door. Let me walk out that door.
What?
Let me walk out that door.
Answer my question.
Nothing. I just want to preserve this nation. Do you not understand?
It's like you don't leave your room. Like, I mean, like, look, again, I don't think there's any problem of living with your parents. But when your parents are like continually asking you to leave and your whole being is dedicated to just this crap, it's ridiculous. This is like Drew Pavlu's dad, but it stopped being funny. Oh no, this dad part is funny.
You will not win this war.
Yes, I will.
No, you won't.
I'm leaving this house.
I want you to leave. I don't want you to come back.
I'm leaving right now.
I want you to go right now.
I'm leaving right now.
Go.
Oh my god,
I'm
now
leaving.
he's filming us.
No, I'm leaving.
Hugh, I have nothing to hide.
You're off to jail tonight, by the way. You just assaulted me.
Hugh.
I want to leave. I want nothing to do with you.
Don't come back.
Go away! Go away! What is wrong with you?
Don't come back.
Finally, I got this fly that's been flying around for ages. Yeah.
Hello, Robinstein. Love you, miss you, right?
The funny thing is, though, is this guy has beef with Tommy Robinson. He refers to Tommy Robinson as Tommy Robinstein. Also, thanks for the $5, Charlie Kelly. He refers to he refers to him as Tommy Robinson. No, the mum crying made me just sad. Yes, I mean, it is sad. Imagine your son being a fucking Nazi. Imagine raising your son for this many years. And you're like weird... There's another fly. Your weird, like, porn-addicted son is just like doing this shit. It's just a Nazi in his room who refuses to leave your house, who refuses to do anything, whose like probably only source of income is just like posting on X, which you don't get paid for. He's part of an organization called Prioritize Britain. It's very strange. And it's like entirely just premised on racism. Like that's all he does.
They've got fireworks over there.
Listen, and they're just all together as well. They're like all of these people in the UK, all these right wingers just go to protests and hang out together. And we saw this yesterday. But we're gonna watch it again. He was arrested for breaching the peace, this young Bob guy, because he pretended to be a journalist, but he's obviously not a journalist. He's like an idiotic, 17-year-old who goes around filming people.
Christ is my God, but I equally do it, 1 second, to the Muslims that say and reject the sonhood of Christ. It's getting dangerous now. Can you move there? You're going to prevent, we need to prevent a breach of the peace. Yeah, you're winding people up, so go that way. I'm not going to wind them up. In fact, they invited me to a discussion. The saying that...
and then eventually he was arrested. I don't know if I can find the arrest.
I can't really put the audio in.
It's got it's playing Dammi Falastini, so I can't listen to it. But yeah, when he was arrested, he said this.
We'll take the arrest, gentlemen.
And he wants to take the arrest because he knows that he'll get away with it. He knows that there'll be no consequence at all for what he says and does. Like, at all. There's going to be nothing that comes of it. And so he'll take the arrest and he'll use it to inflate his political career even more.
Liberate England!
And it's just crazy. It's like, he's just surrounded by weird 40-year-olds who do this kind of stuff, who go round filming him and stuff and like inflate his ego. And he's just doing that. But yes, he wants to be arrested. This is the whole point. And so he can say, look, there's two-tier policing and there's all these things. That's all this guy wants. That's like his entire life.
Well, that'd be considered a form of... Go away now. Fuck off before I push you away. Fuck off.
And he was getting into this is what he was getting up to.
Fuck off before I push you away. Fuck off before I push you away.
That'd be considered a form of assault.
Fuck off.
That'd be considered a form of assault.
Fuck off now.
That'd be considered a form of assault.
Fuck off now.
That's very...
Fuck off. You've been told. Fuck off.
Why are you assaulting me?
Fuck off.
Why are you assaulting me?
Neo-Nazis. Fucking...
But what I was just posing a question.
Imagine just being a police officer. I mean, already your life is like boring and shit, and you're working in a horrible job in service of the state. And it's just like, Jesus Christ. And then you just spend your day policing and looking after like a 17-year-old autistic child who is being like bigged up and groomed by some of the most degenerate white right-wingers in the UK.
Sorry, man. Yeah. So just immediately after posing questions towards people that were pushing me, that's going to be interesting.
Fuck off before...
I like the guy's accent. Fuck off now. And he got what he deserved. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, he is not like a. Oh wait. There is a video of him debating, from Vox Populi Media.
Doing well?
You insult the Prophet every weekend. You insult the Prophet every weekend.
I don't insult the Prophet.
Oh, this is the young Bob. You do every.
I don't insult the Prophet.
Well, you're not going to say that here, obviously, because it's going to aggravate people. But let me tell you something.
Well, you know what? I don't give any admiration to a prophet that I believe is obviously false. However, I reciprocate the courtesy that's given to me. So, for example, the Speaker's Corner speakers who are embroiled in financial and sex scandals, I will say things to them that you probably don't like. However, that is the courtesy.
I'm unaware of that.
Well, I'm aware of a certain...
I'm actually not watching this guy debate about fucking Speaker's Corner in the UK. But yeah, so all of this, but the... hold on, let me see if I can find Starmer talking about it. All of this was inflamed by Keir Starmer and all of these people where Keir Starmer said it was wrong to ban the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans. Like Keir Starmer said it was wrong. You had all these people claiming that Jews were not allowed to go to Birmingham, that it was that's a very strong Scouse accent, that you're not allowed to go to, that Jews aren't allowed to go there, that it's a shame that they were banned. And they lied, and they create these situations. And this is the problem, like all of this right-wing crap going on. And that's why I'm not so wowed by a Sky News investigation. All of this right-wing crap going on, the responsibility of it lies with people like this, with people who constantly decide to make up lies about what's going on.
Section of Maccabi fans, not all Maccabi fans, but a section of them who engage in quite significant levels of hooliganism.
There's a lack of clarity. Maccabi Tel Aviv told us they're not too sure why their fans were banned. Why were their fans banned? Was it the threat to them or the threat by their fans?
Yeah, so I'm aware there's a lot of commentary around the threat to the fans being the reason for the decision. To be clear, that was not the primary driver. That was a consideration. We have intelligence and information that says that there is a section of Maccabi fans, not all Maccabi fans, but a section of them who engage in quite significant levels of hooliganism. What is probably quite unique in these circumstances is whereas often hooligans will clash with other hooligans and it will be contained within the football fan base. We've had examples where a section of Maccabi fans were targeting people not involved in football matches. And
this is the thing, and this is the thing that was missed on that last one. They claim that there was like an organised, pre-planned Jew hunt, as opposed to the fact that they were hanging around and they were doing things in Amsterdam to just terrorise the local communities because they're dangerous, violent extremists.
And certainly we had an incident in Amsterdam last year which has informed some of our decision making. So it is exclusively a decision we made on the basis of the behaviour of a subsection of Maccabi fans, but all the reaction that could occur obviously form part of that as well. There are football clubs that have a significant group of fans who are ultras, if you like. The difference here, I guess, is that they didn't just confine it to other football fans. In the past, there have been clashes that have gone beyond that, and clearly, as you've alluded to, the sensitivities around the Middle East mean that the potential for that to kind of exacerbate current tensions is so much that we felt this was the most sensible way of managing the risk.
Maccabi Tel Aviv are very concerned. They think their fans are being unfairly maligned. They were attacked in what have been called anti-Semitic attacks in Amsterdam last year. The only convictions in Amsterdam were for attacks by locals on their fans. But you formed a very different conclusion. Is that from the Dutch police?
We are absolutely not saying that in Amsterdam that the only fans causing trouble were the Maccabi fans, but what we were very clearly told is that they played a part in causing trouble, particularly a day before the match. That absolutely resulted in the following day there being attacks on Maccabi fans, so it wasn't all one way. But that's the whole point, really, so that kind of escalating tensions, the escalating violence as a consequence, is what we were trying to prevent here in Birmingham.
We've seen Zionists not welcome signs. Are they acceptable?
Our understanding is that they don't quite contravene hate crime. Whether they're acceptable is a matter of judgment.
The fact that Zionists not welcome here don't quite contravene hate crime laws, when this is like, it's literally saying that you disagree with a racist political ideology is insane, you know? Like, just no two ways about it. No two ways about that. You've just heard them basically say, hey, the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans have done these things. It's ridiculous. It's not a new thing either. People knew about this. That's the police's official narrative. And look at this. This is the kind of stuff. All of this stuff is fake. It's all fake. And I am actually... I think I'll make a video called I'm Tired of Fake Anti-Semitism Scandals. I planned it and I've written it, some of it. So hopefully I'll get on with it. But this is Josh Howie. Like, apparently... I don't know who Josh Howie is. He's there's a crazy photo of him. Hold on. This is Josh Howie at some point. The fact that that was probably like 10, 12 years ago and he still looks like that. And he looks worse then than he does now is unbelievable. But, yeah, he's he's an English political commentator. He is a broadcaster for GB News. He's a stand-up comedian, screenwriter, and actor. In the Buddhist household of his mother and his father, Paul Howie, he's a weekly boarder at Mill House School. Howie started performing in 2002. He presented an Edinburgh Fringe show, chosen. Howie was the presenter for Sky Movie's show Geeks, the Movie Geek. He appeared series 4 stand-up sitcom Josh Howie's Losing It. Okay. He's the weekday host of a GB News comedy paper review show ending in June 2025, which was called Headlines. He has also been the host of the show Free Speech Nation for GB News since December 2024. During a GB News comedy show, Howie made a joke that the US church's call for the full inclusion of LGBTQ plus persons included paedophiles. Brilliant. Ofcom received over 1,200 complaints. This is the guy who says, well, this is very surreal. For our safety here as Jews, we've been put into a fence pen. It's just not true. People see this, and this guy has a major platform in the UK to spew out this kind of stuff. Let's listen to him telling us about his experience.
As a football fan, I am here as a British Jew. I am here as someone who is concerned about both the fate of my family and my community, but also the fate of this wonderful country with its cornerstones of common sense and fairness. Because it is most certainly not fair that all this palaver has been framed as safety concerns between different football fans when one side is now not even attending. It is not fair that lies from an actual Islamist Hezbollah terrorist about the Jew hunt pogrom
Jew hunt pogrom. Like, this person has a serious platform. This person is paid to give political opinions. It is amazing.
Place in Amsterdam last year be used by the West Midlands police in their assessment of whether Jews can attend.
Jews can attend. You are there. You are Jewish. And this is the cage, by the way, that he claims they're in. I'm being persecuted for supporting genocide. Boo-hoo. Yes, actual baby.
Today, it is not fair that to ensure our safety to
adult baby wearing baby clothes.
Stand here as Jews and allies requires hundreds of police officers, and without them, we'd be in very real danger from an Islamist mob of racist thugs and bigots. It's not fair that the racism and lives of sectarian extremists can determine which ethnic groups attend a football.
There is literally nothing about Jews going. This is entirely fictitious. This is fake. You are deranged. You are mentally unstable. Nothing about this is true. There is no value in these words that he's saying. Like he is Jewish. The people not allowed to go are Maccabi Tel Aviv fans. You are there. You are literally there. If you were Jewish, you could go to that game wearing a Star of David and you would have no problems. If you held up an Israeli flag, you might have some problems because it is there that you are obvious to celebrate not Jewishness, but Jewish supremacy over Palestinians.
Match can go to different areas of a city, even go to this country's second city itself. And it's not fair that for our safety, we be put in a Jew pen.
Put in a Jew pen? Like, listen to these words, man. And this is given credence by the UK government. This is treated as like a reasonable voice. Like a normal person.
For that is the reality of what we are seeing today. When Jewish Villa fans have been scared off from coming to support their own team. Even a non-Jewish Villa fan received death threats for simply standing up for Jews.
I literally, by the way, your media outlet posted, the media outlet that you work for, that this guy works for, posted a video of me and my friends, and I received multiple death threats from someone who actually lived where I lived, saying, I can't wait to catch you. In fact, they're still on the internet. They're like, this person who lives where I live saying, I can't wait to see you in Exeter because of the video that you posted on social media, because of the videos that your platform posted exactly along these ridiculous lines. Hold on, I'll show you. Just seen you on GB News attacking some Jewish kids for raising awareness on anti-Semitism. Think we will be seeing you soon in Exeter, Chris. This is like an account like openly saying that they're going to hurt and harm me because of a lie spread on the platform that you actually work for. Like, I'm sorry, it's so insane that this is considered like a real person. Like, I don't care. Andrew Fox is a heinous person. He is complicit in other people's murder. And this is taken seriously. This is what, like, is bipartisan across the UK political spectrum of like, yeah, Jews are being targeted. And they give this guy so much support and, like, seriousness.
And all of this is due to the continual capitulation by the authorities to the demands of bigotry and intolerance from a fundamentalist ideology.
You work for GB News. Once again, you work for GB News.
Because as we see right here, right now, it's easier to banish the victims of that bigotry rather to stand up to it. We are all of us on a slippery slope. Jews, but also the UK. At some point, the institutions that represent all of us are going to have to take a stand. A stand for tolerance, a stand for fairness. Because otherwise, those values will be lost.
This guy probably served in the IOF. Whether he served in the IOF or not, I don't know. I don't know. He lives in the UK, so who knows. But whatever you think of this guy, he works for an organisation that, with its political leanings and bias, had it existed in the 1930s and 40s, categorically would have sided with the Nazis. It would have been an instrument and an organ of the Nazi regime, because it is something that demonises others, that spews the kind of hatred that has been spewed by every single Nazi imitator in this country.
And if we lose them, we won't just lose the Jews of this country, we will lose this country itself.
I also love how it's very clear that there aren't many people there and that his speech was terrible, because there's like barely any reaction to it. And he's not like, this guy's not even a football fan, and we got him being interviewed by his own employers as like, you know, a normal.
Wanted to be here tonight, tell us why. Wanted to be here tonight, tell us why.
I wanted to be here because as soon as they said that the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans couldn't come along, that spoke to me of institutional capture and giving in to the Islamist mob. To say that it starts with Israeli fans, now they want to ban the Israeli team, and then it goes to Jews. So for me as a Jew,
it's really amazing. So it goes, first of all, the fans are banned for their own behaviour. Then it's now they want to ban the Israeli team, and then they want to ban Jews. Those are very different things. Those are very, very different things. Wanting to ban Israel from international sport is a very reasonable position to hold.
When a bully makes some statement about where I can go in my own country, that makes me go, no, I'm going to come here.
Do you think it's a trend, or more like the same conditions, same results, rather than being supporters to not see that coming? I think that well, if I like kind of interpret your question, what I think that all of this is, what I think that like all of the stuff going on here is, and with all of this rhetoric, when it comes to the Nazis preached a form of racial hatred that is not unique to them. They took it to its extreme, but there are many others who have tried to take it to that extreme, and people took it to the extreme in the colonies where huge amounts of slaughter occurred across multitudes of different places. Now, today, the same rhetoric from when Nazism was at its peak that was spewed about Jewish people in Europe, from when anti-Semitism was really at its peak, is literally just transformed. You can read about this. They used to talk about Jews' sexual practices. They used to talk about how Jewish people were unable to integrate because of their culture, that they were not like a part of Britain, that they were like making London an alien foreign land. Levins Gordon, I think, is the name. Hold on. No, that's not his name. Aliens Act, UK. Evans Gordon, that's it, this guy. Literally listen to this. The settlement of large aggregations of Hebrews in Christian land has never been successful. Hebrew colony, unlike any other alien colony in Great Britain, forms a solid and permanently distinct block, a race apart, and if it were in an enduring island of extraneous thought and custom, to the extent that east of Aldgate one walks in a foreign town. These words are literally just said today about Muslims. This is literally the words that they say about Muslims. Like, this is Evans Gordon, and that's what I mean. Evans Gordon's platform, and by the way, there's a really funny quote in this. He was anti-Semitic, but it says Evans Gordon's anti-Semitism is being questioned as he was a supporter of Zionism and kept up regular correspondence with Chaim Weizmann, who would later write of him, "I think our people were rather hard on him. The Aliens Bill in England and the movement which grew around it were a natural phenomenon which might have been foreseen. Sir William Evans Gordon had no particular anti-Jewish prejudices. He was sincerely ready to encourage the settlement of Jews almost anywhere in the British Empire, but he failed to see why the ghettos of London or Leeds should be made into a branch of the ghettos of Warsaw and Pinsk. It's not at all. He was a racist anti-Semite, but he just supported Zionism.
Now, they said initially...
Which is why he's on GB News, because they don't mind if these people are racist. They just care that they support it.
Of course, that side, particularly the local independent MP, Ayub Khan, that he pointed to violence in Amsterdam last year. That was the reason why he supported that decision to not have Maccabi Tel Aviv fans. Is that what you believe the real decision behind it? Because we know across the road they're protesting, that they're saying that they want Israel banned from UEFA.
Yeah, of course it is. It's ideology. It's because it's Jew hate, unfortunately, with the extreme parts of the Muslim community. If you look at what happened last year in Amsterdam, first of all, every game they played since then in Europe, there haven't been any issues. Like, I'm not into football, so I've had to learn all this stuff myself. But what happened last year was a pre-planned Jew hunt.
Where were their Europa League games last year? So they had one in Porto, one against Bodo Glimt, one in FC RFS, then one in Besiktas, which couldn't be played in Besiktas. Who even FC RFS? Vive RFS. RFS. But yeah, they literally had to move a game away from Turkey because they knew it would lead to issues.
In the weeks before, where local Arabs went online and planned this, had nothing to do. There were no of the
local Arabs went online and planned this, literally in complete contradiction.
Ajax fans involved in it. It was purely attacking Israelis and any Jews who happened to be there. And it has to be, the Home Affairs Committee today have issued a letter to the Birmingham Council, to the West Midlands Police, saying quite clearly, why did you make this decision? Because it isn't based in any facts. There is no threat from why are the people out protesting right now? Thousands of people on the other side of the stadium. There's, what, tens of us here? Not violent.
But why are there tens of you? Because clearly this is not something that actually speaks to the vast majority of Jews, and it was removed to Hungary. Yeah. This is clearly not something that speaks to the vast majority of normal people or Jews in this country, because it's ridiculous. Because this is utterly ridiculous. Your little whining and crying fit here is just pathetic. You are a GB News host. You don't care about racism and bigotry.
The police here are to protect us. The police here are to protect other people. It's got nothing to do with football at all.
We know there's 700.
And yes, so there's two things here. Time is a flat circle. History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. They say, nice one, Chris. But I think that, like, the thing about this is that in terms of, sorry, I keep checking because I messaged Cruel World Happy Mind to see if she was interested in talking, but she hasn't got back to me. But I mean, fair enough, and please don't go and harass her or anything. But the thing is that what you have to understand, and the same with the gay and the way in which the gay debate is recycled when it comes to trans people, it's the same thing. It is creating a racial other. He's being interviewed here by his own platform, a platform which spends all of its time, it's the majority of its coverage, if not almost all of its coverage, is dedicated specifically to otherizing Muslims and non-white people in this country.
100 officers here. We've seen them from different constabularies. Do you feel safe here, coming here to protest in Birmingham tonight?
I do feel safe. I was scared. My wife didn't want me to come. My friends, my family didn't want me to come. But to keep us safe, it's taken 700 fans. It's taken being put in a pen. We are here behind guarded gates by the police just to be able to exist here as Jews. And my point of coming here,
just to exist here as Jews. By the way, this is just an insult to the legacy of the Holocaust. Anyone who makes any inference that this is anything like the Holocaust, which multiple of these people have, how is it you are literally saying that Jewish people during the Holocaust were members of a violent army? Oh, goodness me. There's been new Epstein leaks. Sorry to go off. Apparently that Epstein helped to arrange talks between the Israeli government and the Ivory Coast that culminated in signing a formal defence agreement. Amazing things are happening in the Côte d'Ivoire.
Was to go, this isn't the UK that I grew up in. This isn't the UK that I want to raise my family in. This isn't the UK. That's not what we're about. We're about tolerance. We're about fairness. And this is not fair.
Now, the Prime Minister and Home Secretary and Home Office tried to get to a point where the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans could come back. that couldn't be reached, and so the decision stood. Do you think more could have been done to allow Maccabi Tel Aviv fans to attend the match here tonight?
Well, absolutely. Look, they put up 700, or I've even heard 1,000 police here today. They would have been easily protected. They would have. I mean, look, there's football fans, football games going on all the time. So it's not to do with football. That is the narrative that's being created. The fact is, the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans, they rejected their tickets. They said it's not safe for us to come over here. We don't want to come here. What a damning indictment of this country that another country that we're allies with don't feel safe for their football fans to come here to the UK. Then the Board of Deputies of British Jews, they tried to do a plan with Villa saying, well, look, let's bus in 500 British Jewish fans who can come see the match. They would have just bussed people straight in and out. And Villa...
They couldn't have bussed in 500 Jewish people. And it just shows you that this is nothing, that like you're bussing people in who don't care about football.
Ran down the clock to not allow that to happen. So,
like, actually, it wouldn't surprise me if many of the stand-up to racism people actually do have an interest to football, in that they don't want a genocidal apartheid state to be anywhere near football teams.
Jews, I know Villa fans who are Jewish who are scared to come today. I know a Villa fan who's not Jewish who defended Jews. He's had death threats. He can't come.
He's talking about Andrew Fox. Andrew Fox is a propagandist for the Israeli government. That guy who's not Jewish, who said he was the chair of the Jewish Villa fans.
Again, this is not what this country is about. And if we don't, frankly, take a stand now at some point, then the mob is just going to incrementally keep on winning. And it's, as I said before, it's creating a no-go zone for Jews now, and it'll be a no-go zone for everyone else tomorrow.
Like, and that's also the funny thing. All of those arguments about, like, go fight for Palestine, go do this, go do that. You can, as a Jewish person, you can go to Israel and get benefits, whilst a Palestinian who literally lives nearby cannot. If you genuinely believe that Israel is the only space in the world where Jewish people can exist safely, go there. Israel, the Israeli government, the government that you support, literally wants that to happen. Why don't you do it? Because most of these people care more about advocating for their Jewish supremacist state and preventing that it is, and pretending that it is this weak, that all Jewish people all over the world are threatened and are all at risk and they need Israel because of that, rather than confronting what Israel is actually doing. Because, you know? Sorry, my thing just crashed, so I missed a couple of messages. You can get free healthcare. They beg you to go. Yes, Israel and its government, like, literally... Is this not testament to the failure of the Zionist project? Like that whole thing? Because the problem that this man is experiencing has nothing to do with his Jewishness. It just doesn't. The problem that he has is because of his views and what he says. If Israel didn't exist, he would not be feeling any of the threats that he is feeling there. If he didn't feel the need to support a genocidal state, then he wouldn't be facing any of the animosity that he faces.
I see it.
It's like, it's just unbelievable. And then also, by the way, this was, of course, not mentioned. Just like Tommy Robinson fans show up. That's who you're allied with. People who make you feel people who make, like, anyone they get their hands on feel unsafe. Like, genuinely dangerous, violent thugs. God, you're the best, Chris. Man, much love. Thank you. My cousins are Palestinians, and because their mum is Lebanese, the government will not allow them to inherit property. It's just insane, whereas this guy can literally move over there and get so many benefits and displace a Palestinian. It's actually just unbelievable. It is unbelievable. It's just... People, John Cleese, who I don't really understand his political views because he's regularly like, I'm cancelled by the work. Good morning, Silent Scythe. Well, he's just commented, well, they have a contract with God because this video's been viral recently. It's from 2023. I remember when this video came out. It's Israelis filling in an allegedly illegal well in the West Bank. It's unbelievable. And also, by the way, I'm pretty sure just like pouring concrete into the ground is not a good idea. It will disrupt the flow of water and such. This is also why I love those people, and like what Ethan said yesterday when he was like, oh, Palestinians in Gaza should just be allowed to prosper. It's like, what do you mean allowed to prosper? Like, how do you prosper when you have a genocidal settler colony there who doesn't even let you do agriculture, you know? Ugh. And also, by the way, like, just once again, this was at the football yesterday. The embassy of Israel was in Villa Park to support the Israeli team. Like, what? It's just... And we've got, like, a UK government response on this stuff, by the way, as well. But it's just crazy. Like, this stuff is crazy. To ask His Majesty's government what assessment they have made on the government of Israel's support for an association with far-right activists in the UK and of the impact on community relations. The government's priority is to support and promote community cohesion across the UK, working closely with local authorities, devolved administrations, voluntary and community sector and faith organisations, and other government departments. It's also just crazy. She's asking them, what do you think about Tommy Robinson? Tommy Robinson and like parts of the far right are funded by Israel. They've been going to Israel, the European far right, for meetings and like messaging things alongside alongside Israeli government officials, some of the most hateful people in the UK. They get to go over and And, like, look at what Tommy Robinson is doing. Like, this is sowing the Israeli government narrative. What a weak coward. The reason is because you pussies couldn't police the Islamic community. That's who this Josh Howie guy is aligned with. Whatever he says or not, GB News has played its part in bringing Tommy Robinson and the kind of views that he holds back. The Israeli government sponsor Tommy Robinson. Say what you want. Israel is unequivocally linked to Tommy Robinson and the things he says and does, and the kind of things he says there. I read Baroness Warsi. No. Baroness Warsi is a Muslim in the UK. But, like, it's crazy. She just... she didn't get any kind of meaningful response on her question. Yeah. Like, you're asking about why Tommy Robinson is going on propaganda trips to Israel.
Up to Villa, well done, boys.
Ahmed Yaqub is annoying, though. I will say that much. And like, just having these people who just carry out huge amounts of killings of Palestinians, just welcome in the UK is, yeah. And look at this as well. This is...
I'm getting pushed. I'm only a journalist. There's no need to attack me like that, officer. I'm just a journalist. I'm an independent journalist. There's no need to attack me. You see the...
It's amazing how many people who purport to be like independent journalists. I was about to say Islamic journalists, but I suppose they are Islamic journalists, or they think they are at least, in that they basically spend their time focusing on Muslims. But yeah, like, this person just goes there to film people as a right-winger, and then it's like, I'm an independent journalist!
The policemen, those guys started grabbing me, started pushing me, and all I'm doing is just doing my job. I do not know. I'm content where I am. I'm sitting down the kettle. We have another row of police coming in. Sorry. We have another row. So now we have
And it all and Esherou's tweet is right. All of this could have been avoided. Stop giving ground to these insane narratives. Stop acting as if this kind of stuff is normal, because these kind of views are not normal. This was last night. This is last night in Birmingham. I've just accidentally searched the wrong thing. But yeah, like, just they behave like we're genuinely given so much credence is given to this, and like that this is kind of a normal viewpoint. Like yeah. And again, around 1,000 pro-Palestine protesters demonstrated outside Villa Park last night as Israeli team Maccabi Tel Aviv were playing Aston Villa in the Europa League. The protest passed peacefully until a small minority of far-right Villa fans provoked the protesters with abusive chants and verbal abuse. The heavy police presence kept both sides apart and also prevented smaller pro-Israel demonstration from coming into contact with pro-Palestinians. Despite the fact that Israel has committed genocide in Gaza, Israeli sporting teams continue to... Once again, what is the correct reaction to genocide? And that's why I'll never sit there and act as if saying death to the IDF is in any way an extreme position. What is the correct reaction that you expect of people after what they have seen on social media, after what they have seen and started to understand about what Israel does to Palestinians? Because still to this very day, Israel is exterminating Palestinians. Our media has always done this. BBC Question Time used to get BNP leaders. I don't doubt that our media has always done this. I think it's worse. I think it's worsened in recent years. And I think GB News is a bad thing. GBBs, as it's sometimes called. The West could really do with a caliphate right now. We have a caliphate, unfortunately. The kingdom of Elon Musk. Yeah. But yeah, this idea that, like, the idea that this kind of stuff is, like, insane or outrageous, that you expect, like, populations not to have an angry reaction towards what Israel does to Palestinians, is insane. And yeah, as well, which I don't think I've mentioned, Maccabi Tel Aviv got absolutely smashed. When is your first book being published, Chris? I've never written a book, and I don't know if I plan to. Maybe one day that's something I'd be interested in. I'm just seeing if I can find much about this. I'm just looking down and stuff. Sorry, I just keep checking to see if I've got a message. But yeah, it's just there's like just the fact that this stuff that we continually have to hear from our government, that this is a narrative that is in any way sensical, that has any reality to it, that Jews have been banned from Birmingham. Yeah. I don't know. Where's David? Yeah, we need Shakira Law. I haven't seen Palestine 36. I've seen the trailer. I'd really like to see the movie. It just wasn't showing in Montreal when I was there. It was showing in the UK, but yeah. Right, we'll go on to a bit of Mamdani stuff now. That's not what I was looking for. So we've got Jonathan Greenblatt giving his reaction to the election of Mamdani.
For a young man, it won like the greatest landslide probably in New York history. I mean, certainly in recent times. And he used that moment to say that he will fight anti-Semitism in New York and stand shoulder to shoulder with his Jewish brothers and sisters.
So again, I'm going to judge him not on what he says in a speech, but on what he does over time.
Right.
This morning,
And I will tell you, I've gotten so many calls from Jewish New Yorkers who are alarmed. Their kid was harassed in college. Their child was bullied in K through 12. Their synagogues vandalized. So here's what ADL is doing right now. If you are a Jewish New Yorker, we have your back, and we will hold Mamdani, Mayor-elect Mamdani, accountable. Look, it's not about politics. This morning we launched a tip line at adl.org NYC. So if you are Jewish and you experience it,
and this will all go into the apparent rise in anti-Semitic hate crimes, even if it's something like someone said from the river to the sea.
Anti-Semitism, where you work or where you worship or where you live. We want to know so we can track it.
Well,
and look, I tell you,
there has been anti-Semitism in New York that we've talked about time and time again.
Yeah.
This isn't something new because he got elected last night. Will you work with him? Will you sit and talk to him? Will you have him be a part of this process?
He has said publicly that he will not work with the ADL and Jonathan Greenblatt. He said that, not me. Look, we're an institution. This organization was founded in 1913. We work with mayors and governors and presidents, irrespective.
And why has he said he won't work with you?
You have to ask him. But at the end of the day, yesterday, the Jewish community, Joe, the UJA and the ADL and the American Jewish Committee released a joint statement. And we are concerned because Jewish New Yorkers are alarmed. And what I can tell you is I look right at the camera. If you are a Jewish New Yorker, we have your back. We launched the Mamdani Monitor this morning. We are simply going to track, again...
It's amazing as well. Was it Greenblatt? No, it wasn't Greenblatt. But do you remember when Trump mentioned Shylock, which is genuinely like an anti-Semitic trope?
Not what he says in a single speech.
That probably didn't go down as an anti-Semitic moment because, you know, Trump's good for Israel.
But what he does. And at the end of the day, my goodness, I hope he is incredibly successful at fighting anti-Semitism. I hope he undertakes steps to keep Jewish New Yorkers safe.
Right.
But it is my job to make sure that every Jewish New Yorker isn't living in fear.
That's what I want you to do. At the same time, you.
But it's also funny because, like, part of the perpetuation of Jewish people constantly being in fear is by Jonathan Greenblatt. Jonathan Greenblatt is someone who literally his entire career is dedicated to that. ADL loves Nazis as long as they like Israel. Yes, exactly. This is exactly how FBI categorizes the hate crimes. Yes, and including From the River to the Sea. But doesn't Ethan believe that From the River to the Sea is anti-Semitic, or at least he used to?
Obviously, you want to judge him by what he's saying now, right? And what he does moving forward, not a tweet in 2022 or 2023, right?
So we will judge him on the people he appoints, on the policies he implements, and on the programs that he launches. I want to know, what's he doing in the education system? Will it be fact-based or politicized for our kids?
Right.
I want to know, will Jewish houses of worship and JCCs continue to be protected because they're under threat? I want to know, is he going to change the purchasing policies because of his ideological commitment to BDS? Potentially hurting the pocketbooks of New Yorkers. Look, he won yesterday, and I saw the previous segment. Amazing numbers. People care about affordability in this city, and I get that. But as an organization that's seen levels of anti-Jewish hate that literally have broken records every year, my job is to keep them safe, and we won't stop.
So I pushed him yesterday on BDS.
Yes.
He's espoused that policy for a long time. Will he bring it into the to the mayor's mansion? And he effectively said yes, a version of it. He makes a distinction, as many people do, between Jews in New York and the state of Israel. What he's saying is, I take my brothers and sisters, Jewish New Yorkers, separate from the policies of the state of Israel. BDS, he says, is meant to punish the state of Israel.
Yeah, I mean, but that goes against everything Jonathan Greenblatt says. He claims that it is a targeted hate attack on all Jewish people.
How do you respond to that distinction?
Well, look, there's lots of room to criticize policies of the state of Israel. But what I worry about, what New Yorkers worry about, is when the guy gets assaulted for wearing a yarmulke and they hit him in the head and yell at him as a Zionist. Or when the governor's mansion in Pennsylvania is burned down by someone who claims Josh Shapiro has a policy on Palestine, which he doesn't. Or when 2 young Jewish people are shot and killed outside the Jewish Museum by someone who yelled.
Who set Josh Shapiro's house on fire? Cody Balmer. The attack against the governor and his family is part of a wave of US political violence. Barmer had admitted to officials that he removed petrol from the lawnmower and poured it into beer bottles to make Molotov cocktails. He turned himself in 13 hours, admitted to harboring hatred towards Governor Shapiro. Wow, that's a pretty crazy photo of this guy. Needs to know that he will not take part in his plans for what he wants to do to the Palestinian people. That's what, identified himself by name, and that's what he said, apparently. He needs to stop having my friends killed, and our people have been through too much by that monster. There is a photo of him signing a bomb, I believe, of Josh Shapiro. You know? And so once again, like, I don't think someone deserves their house to be burnt down. Like, it's you know, it's a very extreme action to take. However, at the same time, I think that the thing is that, like, you know, Josh Shapiro signed bombs. Oh, wait, no. Wait, apparently that's not in... Oh, no, he signed it in Pennsylvania. Sorry, that's my mistake there. I mean, he's still part of the Democratic Party. But yeah, he was doing that in Ukraine. Like, less of a problem, but I still find that stuff a bit grotesque, really. I'm not so sure about that kind of stuff. I don't think anyone should be signing bombs.
Palestine. Or when an elderly person is firebombed in Boulder, Colorado. Like an 80-year-old woman. Like someone angry about.
But also, by the way, just like the fact that he has the gall to talk about this, you know, when he has no problem with Palestinians being killed by advanced weaponry, having their homes destroyed by major bombardment is insane.
We're all shocked, and we all find this abhorrent, and I'm sure that the next mayor would say the same thing, wouldn't he?
You have to ask him.
Well, I think he has said the same thing. I don't know. I think you have to. I think you look at the fact that he has gone to one holiday service after another. He has talked to the Jewish community.
That's not exactly right. He went to an anti-Zionist synagogue, which is like going to the black breakout at CPAC and saying you understand African Americans. I mean, come on.
You're saying he hasn't talked to the Jewish community?
I don't know of a mainstream. Now, look, he has been to synagogues. He has Jewish people working for him, for sure.
Right.
But if you look at the biggest institutions that represent Jewish New Yorkers, I have yet to see him engage with any of those. Now, my hope is the mayor-elect will do so in the days and weeks to come. But in the meantime,
but you're not suggesting that he supports the firebombing in Colorado.
Never said that.
You're not suggesting that he supports the firebombing.
I never said that.
No. There is a lot.
Let me be clear.
There's a lot of blurring and blending here, Jonathan. And you know I love you, and you're on all the time, and we always.
Crazy to say that you love Jonathan Greenblatt.
Fierce defender of yours, but you seem to be like blurring a lot of things together and then looking into that camera and say, call us. We're going to make sure that he doesn't support the...
Because it's the same insanity as Josh Howie in the UK. It is the exact same thing. It is the continual thing of claiming, oh, everything about like Palestine is anti-Semitic and Jews are being treated like 1948 and totally ignoring the context of what's going on.
Oh, I say to Jewish New Yorkers, call us if you feel unsafe. I say to Jewish New Yorkers, call us if you are harassed. And so let me clarify.
How about you calling his team, Mamdani's team? Or how about talking to people who may know him and you?
Let's see if that happens.
Like Reverend Al. Talk to Reverend Al. Maybe you guys can get together and have lunch and talk. Isn't that a more constructive thing to do?
Talk right here. That would be great.
Reverend Al will do it. Come here, talk right here.
But I won't be, look, like I am willing to have conversations, hard conversations.
Right.
Because my job is to keep the community safe. But let me be clear, I'm not accusing him of those things. What I want to make sure is he doesn't create an environment where Jewish people are unsafe.
Literally anyone who isn't like just unequivocally pro-Israel creates an environment where Jewish people aren't safe to these people. The only way you can make Jewish people safe is by going, Israel should be able to starve and kill children. That is what these people believe.
It doesn't create an environment where globalize the Intifada becomes a mantra.
And if he does...
Globalize the Intifada is a fine thing to say. It is literally far better than saying, Am Israel High, flying an Israeli flag, all of that is far more offensive than saying globalize the Intifada.
Because we will be the first, as you know, right?
I do.
We'll be the first to call him out. Jonathan.
Yeah, I mean, we should also note, polling last week, Quinnipiac poll said he had the support of about a third of Jewish New Yorkers, and that many had said that it was about policies of the state of Israel. That is why they resonate, because they were upset with what they saw in Gaza as well. So that was Joe sort of anticipated what I was going to say here, is that why not use this moment is just a chance to have an olive branch, to shake a hand, to have a conversation with him and his team.
Look, we criticized candidate Trump, and we have to work with the Trump administration. We've criticized candidate Mamdani, and we will have to work with him as the mayor. That's what we do at ADL. We don't play for the red team or the blue team. We're the umpire who calls balls and strikes.
We're the umpire who calls balls and strikes. Jesus.
What do you want him to do?
Good question. I would like to see the mayor-elect live up to what he said last night in terms of being there for every Jewish New Yorker. So what does that mean? Confirm there will be no extremists in his administration. Confirm that he will not bring politics into the education system for K through 12 kids. I want to make sure
politics is always in the education system.
Sure that the people, the programs he introduces, like to keep Jewish New Yorkers safe at their synagogues and their JCCs, are maintained. Commissioner Tisch has done an amazing job. Let's keep that going. I want to make sure that he doesn't break up the task force of the NYPD that's kept Jewish people safe, and there have been mobs outside our Hillels and our synagogues. So basically, I'd like to...
But also, like, once again, mobs outside of our Hillels and synagogues. Where and why? Like, I'm sure that you can point to an example where it's like, hey, there are actually far-right Nazis or extremists there who hate you on the basis of being Jewish. But on the whole, is that not as a result of, like, hosting Ben Gvir at one? And, like, all of these things? You know? Like a continued desire to continually bring over Israeli soldiers and politicians and portray yourself as a consistent victim of these things?
See a plan. We asked for this during the campaign. We didn't see it. I'm hopeful that he'll do it now. All I care about is keeping the community safe at a time when, again, the acts of harassment and vandalism and violence are higher than they've ever been. So, Mike, all I want is clarity on what he will do. Not pablum and rhetoric and speeches, but real world action.
Let's see if we can get y'all. Let's talk to Reverend Al and see if we can get y'all together, first of all. And secondly, if there's any slippage in any other, you come here on this show.
I know you will.
We'll talk about it.
I appreciate it.
Oh, God. It's amazing that he just gets a platform to talk about anything because, you know, there's also, what's this here? Oh, wait, you can see OBS. You're not meant to see that. Sorry. Excuse me. So here's what in June. Oh, here's in June. In June, Greenblatt attacked Mamdani. Now I'm doing it because I watched it too much the other day. Attacked Mamdani for refusing to meet with the right Jews, saying he doesn't get to pick and choose which Jewish people he talks to. He needs to come to us. Today he announced that that the ADL is launching a comprehensive citywide initiative to track and monitor the policies and personnel appointments of the incoming Mamdani administration, framing it as necessary to keep New Yorkers safe. It is literally the exact opposite. It will literally be used to say, look at this thing that's been done by Mamdani to Jews. It will be amplified by far-right pro-Israel influencers all over the world who will say Mamdani is an Islamic extremist making the lives of Jewish people worse. And it will lead to hatred against Muslims. I bet you any money. Asked about it earlier, he says he has some doubts in Jonathan's ability to do so honestly, given that he previously said I had not visited any synagogues, only to have to correct himself.
I have not spoken to Jonathan Greenblatt. I take the issue of anti-Semitism incredibly seriously. And last night in my speech, I spoke about how my city hall will stand...
But also, by the way, I just want to say something. That Valentina, what's her name? The woman who's like always running for... Valentina Gomez, who's always running for Congress, posted a video of herself shooting a dummy and says all of these like unbelievable things about Muslims. She was allowed into the UK. She was like talking about executing illegals, I believe. She's allowed into the UK. She's considered like a normal person. It's crazy that like, you know, the people do equate anti-Semitism and Islamophobia when that is someone who's, you know, allowed to come to the UK and there's not like a major stink about like her being a hate preacher, you know?
Steadfast with Jewish New Yorkers in fighting the scourge of anti-Semitism across the city and making that clear in the actions that we deliver on from January 1st. And I look forward to working with Jewish leaders across this city, whether they be elected officials, whether they be rabbis, whether they be community leaders, to deliver on the promise of not just protecting Jewish New Yorkers, but celebrating and cherishing them in this same city. I think that anyone is free to catalog the actions of our administration. I have some doubts in Jonathan's ability to do so honestly, given that he previously said I had not visited any synagogues, only to have to correct himself.
Yeah. Also, by the way, I don't know if any of you... here's this Israel Exposed account who follows me, which I do not follow back. It has 166,000. Israel supporters are the most hateful people on earth. Nick Fuentes. Thanks for that, Israel Exposed. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see anything from Nick Fuentes. We have another mayoral insanity, which is Eric Adams talking about Israel.
Zohran Mamdani's New York.
This is New York. It's not Cuba. It's not China. It is the center of capitalism, not socialism. Can't take it backwards. We've made too much success. Got to move forward.
Got it. Marry, F, kill, communism, socialism, capitalism.
I would marry capitalism, Israel. Social.
Why did he just say Israel?
Socialism and communism.
Why did he just say Israel? It wasn't even being spoken about.
Socialism, capitalism.
I would marry capitalism, Israel. Israel.
He just says Israel. Why? Bro, that is a Freudian slip. He wants to marry Israel.
Socialism and communism. I would kick to the curb.
Here's a list of things that you love. Marry, F, kill, and the black community.
Oh, God, this is a crazy question to ask.
NYPD, Israel.
I would.
Oh, so he was clearly pre-prepped on the questions.
Marry, and love all three of them.
Okay.
And I would add on to them Ghana, Senegal, Nigeria,
Shout out.
South Africa.
Okay.
Exactly. I love them all. Love is.
What a weird interview. What a weird thing to say and do. What is that about? Why did he accidentally just say Israel? I mean, actually, I kind of answered that myself. I don't think he's all that. I don't think most American politicians are all there. Like, too many politicians are too old in American society. It's not too bad in the UK. But yeah. It's not too bad in the UK. Like, there are old people, but yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. No Turkey mention. Yeah, problematic. Not just NYC. Bro is trying to blackwash his answer. Yeah, he needs to mention a couple of predominantly black countries so as to efface his love for Israel. But I just think like this stuff about Mamdani. There was actually something that I'm not best pleased about when it comes to Zohran Mamdani that I learned from my favorite source.
No, guys, I actually think that electing Mamdani was a really good idea. Like, congratulations, because socialism historically has worked everywhere that it's been tried. Venezuelans are eating zoo animals because of capitalism, right?
I looked into this story. There's something from 2017. And also, by the way, yes, you could make the argument that Venezuelans are eating zoo animals because Venezuela has been targeted over and over again, including by a major coup attempt against the previous administration by the US. And the guy. So this is the article that I found. Thieves stealing Venezuela zoo animals. Zoo head Leonardo Nunez said a wave of thefts in recent weeks had affected 10 species, including a buffalo, which he said was cut into pieces, and he said was orchestrated by drug dealers seeking to sell the animals. They take everything here. The animals weren't stolen to be eaten. thieves had made off with 2 tapirs, a jungle animal that is also similar to a pig, that is described as vulnerable to extinction by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. Also, black marketing a thing like animals is really not that surprising, like at a collapse of an administration.
Can't even
I don't know why she does it with wet hair so much.
even count the amount of people who have tried to flee capitalist countries to go over to socialist ones as safe havens, right? Risking their entire lives on these rafts made of plastic bottles, just hoping that they could reach the shores of the safe haven of socialism, right? Because that's
But on this topic, there are so many people who flee capitalist countries to other capitalist countries with slightly better outcomes. And the reason that they flee there is because their country has normally been exploited and destroyed.
Happened historically, right? It hasn't been socialism and communism that has led to the death of over 100 million people, right?
No, they've led to far more. Also, the guy on Twitter said, like, Mao had caused 5 times the deaths of the Second World War. The Second World War and First World War undeniably killed more people than Mao combined. I'm sorry, unless you're kind of saying like, oh, Mao, you take like the most obscene estimate and also don't take account of the fact that China had been, like so many people, hold on. China mainland. Researchers also include, so that's the Great Chinese Famine that they say is 15 million to 55 million. The Chinese famine of 1942, 700,000 to 3 million. Chinese famine, the drought resulted in 3 million to 10 million deaths. Famine in northern China, then. The Great Chinese Famine of 1906, 20 million people were killed then. 200,000. You can look at this. There's huge amounts of people who have been killed in famines in China. Like, I'm sorry, just saying that is entirely the responsibility. Here's another. The Northern Chinese Famine of 1876 to 79. Like, yes, I'm sure that you can accuse Mao of mismanagement and such, but at the same time, like, I'm not so sure that you can claim, like, oh, all these people died as a result directly of communism, when it's like, throughout history, so many people of China have been dying of famine.
That would never happen. So good job electing a socialist into an economic stronghold of the United States that's going to go swimmingly, and who better than Zohran Mamdani, right? A trust fund kid with over $10 million in his bank account who didn't have a job until he was 29, that was handed to him by his parents, and then even when he did get that job handed to him, he didn't show up half the time. He actually had the worst voting record of any assemblyman, so that's excellent. You guys really know how to pick them.
I mean, Trump is a sex offender. Your hero here is just like an obscene racist. Also, crazy, you know that people were talking about like the thing. Look at how her videos are promoted. 600 likes and yet 30,000 views. That kind of thing.
You have invented...
I really want to find her video because she had... this is not what I...
Right now, the genocide going on in Sudan is so bad that the blood-soaked sand...
I mean, that's not it.
Do you guys remember when Charlie Kirk was murdered by a radical leftist? And I'm going to be starting a new series on here where I'm going to be interviewing different creators on TikTok Live.
What is this image? Oh, God. I just want to see if I can find it.
No, guys, I actually think...
there was one where she was talking...
You know what I find very interesting is that there are some pro-Palestinians that I know specifically on this app who lean more conservative politically, right? They disagree with the conservative movement as a whole when it comes to Israel-Palestine, but they are more conservative. Many of them are extremely successful. Do you guys remember when Charlie Kirk was murdered by a... I think that I'm pretty good when it comes to the gift of discernment. I think that's something that God put on my heart. Maybe because I'm autistic, I can tell when other... people are masking for nefarious purposes because I have to do it to just appear normal, right, to the neurotypical average person. So I could spot when somebody is faking. I think that I'm pretty good.
Apparently
when
I accidentally like
I'm
that.
going to be completely. The idea of my absolute for the first and only. My absolute favorite thing about Zohran Mamdani asking for donations less than 24 hours after his
It's
run
also so funny as well. Do you hold Trump to this standard? I just want to see if I can find it.
is that this man is still a trust fund baby. He's like quite literally still a millionaire, has $10 million that his parents gave him. God knows he didn't earn it. And he's asking for other people to give him his money so that he could try to fund his fantasies that just realistically will not work in any way, shape, or form. For starters, half of them he like quite literally can't even do, and the rest of them there's no way he's going to be able to get the money that's actually needed in order to put these things into fruition, because the vast majority of people who voted for him don't know what it is to actually be selfless, right? Many of them rely on this idea of socialism, thinking that the government is going to go out and help people with everybody else's dollars, right? These are people that could be helping others, right? Many of them are actually extremely wealthy, but they don't want to. They could go out and affect change in their own communities. They could donate to charities, but they don't know how to do that, right? They're very selfish. They're very self-centered. So they need the government to step in and do it for them. They just think that it's for the first and only. I'm going to share with you guys the stories of 3 different Israeli.
Why are the comments just this? Our necks are bleeding. What is this one?
Sometimes I'll get comments on my
I can't find. She made one that
Can I just? I love all the comments that I keep getting saying that I just don't like
anything for 7K. I guess I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
Zohran Mamdani. Right now, the pro-Palestinian. You know what's a really fun fact is that
Mamdani
had a ceremony for over $1 million for his engagement over in Dubai. He gave over $1 million to the economy that's part of the UAE. Now, the UAE is the one who is funding the group RSF, who is responsible for committing the horrific genocide.
This is like one of the funniest videos, because I actually think there's some critique here, but seemingly his family lives in the UAE. And so, like, getting married there, you know, I'm not so sure it's, like, the greatest thing to be doing, and I don't think it should be publicized and you should make out that the UAE is the great place. But that opinionated girl and her account is, like, dedicated to loving Trump. I am sorry, Zohran Mamdani's influence over what is going on in Sudan is so minimal in comparison to what is happening in comparison. No, he did categorically get married. I don't know if he spent millions of dollars. I think that that's just more of a claim made by right-wingers.
That we're seeing against Christians in Sudan. Some of the most horrific images I have ever seen in my life. Young children being hung from trees. Videos of young mothers trying to protect their children, begging for their lives as radical Islamists taunt them, knowing that they're about to brutally murder them. Even places that are supposed to be safe for everybody, like food distribution.
No, Game of Thrones is most definitely not about Israel. It's about the War of the Roses.
Sites are now telling Christians that they have to convert to Islam if they want to be fed.
This is also just not true. I don't know where she's even got this from.
And of course, Mamdani.
But I am glad for the follow. Thank you, that opinionated girl.
Stays silent on it because he hasn't found a way to self-victimize yet. He hasn't thought of a relative that he could make up to try to make this story about him. He remains silent. And for people who are trying to say, well, he might have not known, you know what? I bet he did know, because this has been going on for years and years and years, is that Dubai still uses slaves. They lure people in from third world country who have no...
Do you know that Israel used the kafala system until 2006, maybe? Here you go. For years through the year 2006, Israel effectively maintained a kafala system, which in Israel was called the binding system. As with the kafala system, migrant laborers were tied to a specific employer for the duration of their lives. Over the years, when Israel maintained this system, passport confiscation and other abuses were systemic and went unpunished. The Israeli Supreme Court struck down the Israeli version of the kafala system in a landmark March 2006 decision, Kavla Oved versus Workers Hotline versus Government of Israel, with the court citing human rights concerns. However, a 2014 study by Israeli labor scholars Adriana Kemp and Rebecca Reichman claimed that the binding system still applies to migrant domestic workers, though not to migrant workers in general. I mean, like, all of this stuff. I was going to stitch her. I might actually stitch her. But yes, the kafala system. By the way, if you think that the UAE is engaged in slavery with the kafala system, then you think that Israel is engaged in it too.
Other opportunities to make ends meet in order to just feel.
She's pretty good at, like, cooking up narratives around Israel, because I've not met, like, one of her stupider friends, the Abu Kaiser guy, who's, like, competent-ish at debating, like, tried to defend it by saying that actually the UAE and the RSF are good, and that the RSF are trying to root out Islamic extremism or something, which is really the preferred narrative of the Emiratis. She's just on her own making stuff up, so fair play to her.
Feed their family, so they go.
Apart from on Israel, she gets her messaging meetings from Netanyahu. And there's probably also a group where they talk about what they're going to say.
Over to Dubai, they respond to these job offerings that they see online, and they are lied to. Once they get there, they have all of their documentation, all of their passports stripped from them. They now have no legal rights whatsoever to get it back, and they are forced into sweatshops where they do hard labor, many of them literally dying from these conditions. And this is where Mamdani decided to go and spend his money. And this is what Mamdani decided to remain silent on. He's never going to call it out because, like I said, he hasn't found a way to victimize himself in it, and he knows exactly what he's complicit in. But of course, all of these blue-haired liberal socialists are going to be sitting there telling you hashtag free Sudan while simultaneously voting for a man who has been complicit in their.
Like, who else should you vote for then? Cuomo, who doesn't give a fuck about that? Trump, who literally is far more of an active supporter and has no reason to even be near the UAE. It's not like his family are, like, you know, from there. Also, Lebanon also does this. Yes. Many places in the Middle East use the kafala system. It is bad. But that video has been crossed off for too woke. I just want to see if I can find what I was going to look for. I've also been recording myself. No, I've not actually. Fuck, I meant to record myself. I'm not getting very good. It was something that I wanted to look at. Oh yeah. Right. This is there are major issues regarding her page lately. She has been a staunch and excellent Israel supporter, and suddenly there are suspicious that she's a double agent, or she's literally being hijacked by her Palestinian boyfriend into calling out genocide on Israel's part. I don't do TikTok much, but apparently she's being pee-pee on her page. Pro-Palestine, I assume. There. This after all these months staunch support for Israel and anti-terror posts. I'm not sure if I should be worried or disappointed. Judean First 2.0 on Instagram has some posts that expose her. She literally just changed on the basis of her boyfriend. I didn't know anything about her converting to Islam or having a Palestinian boyfriend. So this is an arc that I wish that there was a bit more evidence of, because this did happen. She started dating this Muslim pro-Palestinian guy, or pro-Palestinian-ish. And by the way, she's also someone in Loner Box's community is friends with her. And her name is on the reverse canary mission as well.
I posted a video the other day that ruffled.
I'm
just gonna say it. I don't care if it makes me sound cruel and heartless. Right now, the pro-Palestinians are who.
I just want to see if I can find when she changed it.
But what was the piece of information that made you, I know you're still pro-Israel, but made you like shift your opinion on the conflict? Or was it like gradual? Because to me it seems sudden, that's why.
Yeah, so a lot of people had said that it seemed very sudden. It was gradual, but the reason why I would say it seemed sudden on the app is because I didn't want to come out and give any opinion that I wasn't 100% certain of. So I was doing my own research in my own time. I was shifting some of my perspectives, not all, of course, gradually, but
do you think she got offered money to go back? Because, like, I mean, actually, probably people were just like, you've said the shit you've said.
I didn't say anything about it until I was certain that
Dickmatized, Jesus.
that was the viewpoint that I had.
So there is some information.
Right, saying a ceasefire at sea.
This is the guy I talked to the other day, the guy who claimed that the West was really anti the Shah of Iran.
Yeah, it's a bit of a fallacy here. Because you shouldn't be advocating for a ceasefire. If you want this war to end, you should be advocating for an end to the war. And what is the end of the war? The end of the war is not just the hostages coming back, but some kind of agreement that helps us lead all of us forward. And if it's a Arab country coming in and guiding the Palestinians, so be it. Right? But at the end of the day, that's saying ceasefire. It's a huge fallacy because I don't want a ceasefire. I want this war to continue until it's concluded and we have a lasting agreement.
Sure, but that's not what a fallacy is. You having a different opinion isn't a fallacy.
Right.
And also, by the way, this person just published her name and she got really upset when I kept saying it. But I just wanted to highlight the comment here. So she still invites pro-Israelis up to debate her. But her formerly sweet demeanor has changed to a simmering dark rage underneath. Emoji. Yup, Maddie has been infected with the pro-Pally zombie virus. Yeah, she had like this arc earlier this year where she became pro-Palestine.
I think that you have to be really careful when, you are blessed with such a platform that, when you're coming out and saying like, I've changed my mind, I think to a lot of people, even though if you sit there and say, oh, well, I'm still pro-Israel.
Yeah, that guy is an idiot who literally just spends his time doing pro-Israel. These people don't have jobs. I'm sure that they get money from like Zionist advocacy groups.
All they really hear and are going to take from that is, oh my gosh, she realizes that she's wrong. She's, been brainwashed. Da, 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 da. And like, I don't know that I feel you've completely responsibly handled your platform that you've been given in the way that you've gone about like addressing this, because and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you've done that on purpose.
It's really nice. I'm not listening to this woman for 4 minutes. I'm not listening to anyone for 4 minutes.
Is that a ring on Maddie's?
This account just has her full name posted on, and still has it to this day.
But what was the piece of information that made?
Oh, does your Palestinian boyfriend think it's the G side? No, I want to.
I don't know if she did have a Palestinian boyfriend or if this is just crap. Sorry, look at this.
Pro-Israel or love Israel. As much as I love Israel, it 100% is not a good look. And like I said, it is quite literally taking people's lives from them for no reason other than being Palestinian. Pro-Israel or
So you're telling me she gets a Palestinian boyfriend and immediately changes her views. We don't need her advocacy.
Incoming Jewish. Hold on, let me see if I can find. Maddie was once a huge advocate for our community, and then got a Palestinian boyfriend, and changed her views overnight. Someone said that they're trolling, but like, there's a comment here that says she's the enemy. Wait.
Considering turning Muslim?
She took her shahada today.
They're saying here that wait.
It's haram to. Yes.
I don't think she actually did that. Wait, let me see if I can find... Okay, right, yeah. I mean, this kind of stuff is insane, but I'm glad that there's some evidence of this. She did do this. There was like this whole arc where she was no longer pro-Israel, but the Jewish community were fine because they still have everyone's favorite Jewish jazz. Who doesn't love Jewish jazz?
I say that from a place of concern and buckle up, New York. And I say that from a place of concern and experience as a Londoner. Yesterday, catastrophically, Zohran Mamdani was elected as the mayor of New York. And I can tell you firsthand that it's going to be a shit show. And I know that because London elected Sadiq Khan as our mayor because of the scarily similar false promises that Zohran is making too. And if you look at London today, it is an undeniable, embarrassing mess. Sadiq promised us safety and security. He pledged to strengthen neighbourhood policing and make London safe again. In reality, there's been a 31% increase in crime since 2016 when he was elected.
Yes, also, he doesn't control the entirety of the country, and I don't think he has the ability to fix all of the problems that London has, like, as the mayor, like, let's be frank.
Mamdani has promised you community safety, tackling non-criminal safety issues through the new Department of Community Safety, which is going to take funding away from the NYPD, who actually deal with criminal safety issues. Zohran has also pledged to tackle hate crime. Funny that, Sadiq Khan promised that to us too. But anti-Semitism has skyrocketed, consistently, year on year, since Sadiq was elected. He's been tackling Islamophobia well though. In fact, Islamophobic hate crimes only rose 67%. In the same time, anti-Semitism rose 1,360.
There's a banger comment here. There's an absolutely banger comment here.
7%. From September 2023 till today. Interestingly, Islamophobia rose after attacks perpetrated by Muslims. And whilst I don't condone this, it is understandable that tensions were high after the Westminster Bridge attack, Lee Rigby being...
How about Israel genociding the Palestinians? How about Israel genociding the Palestinians? If Lee Rigby and all of this stuff contributes to, like, if this kind of stuff like contributes to like hatred of Muslims rising, why is it that you can't see that Israel doing genocide, like a way larger amount of it, is actually contributing to people's negative feelings about Israel? Like Israel doing genocide of Palestinians. And yeah, can you tell us about London's mayor, Chris? I don't know anything about him, but I saw a lot of... It's just overplayed. Sadiq Khan is not like this really radical guy. Sadiq Khan is like... Sadiq Khan is someone who is like, he's a Labour Party member. He's never taken that strong a stance on Palestine. He's never differed that much from the Labour Party line. He's not some radical guy. Like, London has problems, but the rest of the UK has loads of problems. There was a great article about this. The Guardian. Hold on. London has turned into something crazy. Is the city in the grip of a crime wave? Perception of runaway crime is partly blamed for driving away the super rich, but in reality, hold on. So crime has risen 31% in the past decade in the area that the Metropolitan Police covers, with the violent crime up by 40%. But however, here you go. Knife crime had been rising in London, while the number of recorded knife crimes fell from 2012 in the run-up to 2016. It then started to rise again, hitting a peak of 15,600 incidents in 2019. There was a sharp drop during the pandemic. Of course there was, because no one was out and about. But it has since been closing in on its previous peak, standing at 15,000. More recent statistics show knife crime in London dropping by 19% in 3 months to June compared with a year earlier. I mean, as much as I disdain the Labour Party and think that they do nothing beneficial for the people of this country, what I will say is that, like, some of the stuff that they have done has, like, led to a decrease in like certain issues in, like, places like London. But it's not like they're fantastic. But yeah, like, just claiming that he has, like, ruined the UK is a really short-sighted opinion on what's actually going on in the UK. He's just like a very standard mayor who's like pretty libbed out.
The Ariana Grande concert and Axel Rudikabana, 3 young girls at a Taylor Swift parody concert. Interestingly, there hasn't been a single recorded attack by a Jew in London, and yet anti-Semitism is rising year in, year out.
one of those... Southport isn't in London, right? Like, Southport is not in London. Southport's on the other side of the country. Like, it's not in London.
There are 10 times more Muslims in London than Jews, and Sadiq Khan has only looked after his own. Watch the same happen with Zohran. We're already seeing this. He campaigned in Arabic. I didn't see him campaigning in Spanish for the big...
He did do that! He did do that! It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing that, like, she said he didn't do that. He also commented in Yiddish.
South American community. I didn't see him campaigning in Hebrew for the Jewish community. Oh,
no, because he campaigned in Yiddish.
On Zohran's broad, vague promises of equality, fairness, affordability, and opportunity. Yeah, Sadiq promised us that same shit too. In reality, we're seeing jobs advertised by local councils, specifically to ethnic minorities in London. We're seeing born and bred Londoners priced out of London, whilst we're forced to pay taxes to house illegal immigrants in five-star hotels, when we can barely pay our own rent or mortgages. And we were promised that public transport fare...
Israelis truly don't care about innocent Gazan lives. It's always return the hostages now, or 2 million people will suffer from famine. Yeah, exactly.
...fares would be frozen. And guess what? They weren't. In fact, fares are higher than ever and are quickly becoming unaffordable. You see, Sadiq and Zohran have a lot in common. And as Londoners, we are suffering the consequences of electing a mayor who promised us the world and gave us the complete opposite by only looking after his own. So good luck, New York. We did try to warn you. And
by only looking after his own? She's just incredibly racist. She's just incredibly racist. This is like her shtick. She's just racist. Like, that's it. I am racist, like me. And also, she has...
Your order?
Yeah, hi. Can I please get 67.9 caramel frappuccinos?
By the way, this is also a eugenicist disgusting argument, but of course, you know, TikTok allows you to make eugenicist jokes about Palestinians.
Grande.
Coffee based?
Yeah, coffee based. No whipped cream.
No problem.
Thanks. Can I get extra caramel drizzle, please?
Sure, dry.
It's also really funny because loads of people are like, debate this person. Do you honestly think Jewish Jess wants to debate me?
Next window.
Thank you.
President Trump just absolutely wiped the floor with the United Nations.
This is just what it is. They're just like pro-Israel, pro-American imperialism accounts. And that's it. That's like all these people do. It's just like pro-Israel content. Yes, I mean, the power of a local mayor to like fix crime in the UK. It's crazy. This is just like, it's just kind of deranged reactions to Zohran's victory. Zohran Mamdani. I'm just checking if there's any other I wanted to cover. We kind of done that. We've done this. Oh shit! Right, we got some Gaza stuff to cover. Hold on, I just need a second break. I will be back with you in 1 second. Sorry, I've just got a reply. Today. Yeah, so the BBC have been in Gaza and we got a brilliant video from Lucy Williamson. But it's still an IDF-led visit, so they still didn't get into Gaza, actually, no. So it's just an IDF-led visit to Gaza, to Shujaya.
Looking across at the remains of Shujaya, you get a sense of what this war has done to Gaza. We've been brought here, east of Gaza City, by the Israeli army, to the Israeli...
Sorry, for actually a second. She was brought there by the Israeli army. She does not condemn them, and she's like, what this war has done. No, this was a concerted campaign of an attempt to destroy everything in Gaza.
Controlled side of the yellow line, the boundary that divides Gaza now between the areas controlled by Hamas and the areas controlled by Israeli forces. It lies just a short distance away from us across here. This tense limbo is the first achievement in Donald Trump's peace plan, and the Americans are pushing really hard to move on to the second stage, to keep this moving. But a lot of the details still have to be hammered out, and there are daily reminders of how fragile this situation is. Every crack in this ceasefire threatens to bring the whole deal crashing down.
There are photos of Shajaya and what it used to look like, and it's just crazy. In fact, it's hard to know where exactly they're stood, but like the difference in what Shajaya looks like now is just, it's just unbelievable to like sit there and like dispassionately call it a war.
Situation is, every crack in this ceasefire threatens to bring the whole deal crashing down.
Every crack in this ceasefire by the army who you were there with. There's almost nothing left to orient you here, or identify the neighborhoods that once held tens of thousands of people. This was one of the first areas Israeli ground troops entered in the early weeks of the war. Since then, they have been back multiple times as Hamas regrouped around its strongholds in the area. Israel does not allow news organizations to independently report in Gaza. Look at this, just like the level of destruction. It's just insane to actually look at. I don't care to read the BBC's reporting because like they kind of have told you exactly what it is like. Worse than starting, like here's drone footage of Gaza City. And this is also why I can't sit there and care just about death. I think you have to like look at this through the destruction of like life and culture and history in Gaza. It's unbelievable. Gamer Stream, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we missed the Gamer Stream donation. Maybe I'll just do it anyway, but thank you so much as always, Sophie. Thank you so much. I think I said this in 2023. It really reminds me of Cemetery Gates by the Smiths. Where are those live? What is it? How does it go? I was listening to it more then. All those people, all those lives, where are they now? With loves and hates and passions just like mine. They were born and then they lived and then they died. It seems so unfair. I want to cry. Just looking at this, just nothingness. Like this is just totally abnormal. Just totally abnormal. This kind of stuff doesn't happen. This kind of stuff just does not happen, you know. And Israel did this. They genocided the people of the Gaza Strip. They destroyed it. Not about buildings, people just gone. What? What are you talking about? The point is also that this is like much bigger than just the extermination of human lives. A house is part of your life. Like, trust me, you would be very upset if your home was burnt down and destroyed and everything you remembered and the entirety of your culture and history and every marking object around you was just wiped away. Trust me, you would be upset because place, I believe it's Maurice Halbvest who talks about this a lot. Place plays a lot of role in memory. Sorry, space plays a lot of role in memory. Just like this is the Islamic University. Okay. I thought you were just saying that I was saying that it was meaningless or what I was saying was stupid. Just look at that. Trust me, bro, just seeing rubble is crazy. I saw some in Lebanon, and crazy enough how it was just one street all rubble, destroyed, nothing, while also being in the middle of everything. This is just an entirety just wiped away, just everything gone. Like, just everything. It's just insane. There's also, like, and also, by the way, we'll just keep talking about Palestine till about past.
Is 4,000 tons. What you're looking at is 4,000 tons of aid. That should be in Gaza, but it's not. It's in Jordan. The World Food Programme has another 2 warehouses like this. UNICEF has warehouses like this packed to the gills. The Jordan Hashemite Charitable Organisation has 36 warehouses. In fact, All of those groups put together say that they have enough aid for 150 trucks per day, 5 days per week, for 3 months to go to Gaza. But it's not in Gaza, it's still stuck in Jordan. On top of that, they say they have another 10,000.
It's unbelievable. Like, Israel is still blocking aid into Gaza, and we'll talk a little bit more about this.
Tons of aid ready to come, but they can't get it in here because...
And this is also, like, I think why we have to talk about genocide in, like, the way of, like, it being much more of a cultural element. This is a concerted effort of wiping out Palestinian resistance, culture and memory. Even in Trump and Blair's plans, all of this, what they are talking about is, like, destroying and wiping away Palestinians, breeding out of them any kind of meaningful politics.
This place is full. All of the warehouses are full because the Israeli authorities are not letting this aid get through to Gaza. What you're looking at is...
But, like, also, so this was posted today by a journalist in Gaza. How have I lost it? This might not be the best translation, but she said, Yani, ahna, aish, ra. I don't know how to translate that. So what are we going to benefit from all the nonsense that's in the markets? There's currently a huge problem going on in Gaza where you can get crisp sweets and fizzy drinks, but you cannot get anything apart from that. Andalou agency spoke about it. Gaza stores full of non-essential foods, empty of essentials amid Israeli-engineered famine. Look at this. Like, you can go in, and there's a bit here which is really bleak. Here you go. More than half of... Okay, we'll read this. In the Nuseirat refugee camp in central Gaza, Fadl Saad Abu Dalal, the owner of a grocery store, stood before shelves lined with biscuits and soft drinks, lamenting the lack of essential goods. These products mean nothing when people need flour or medicine, he told Andalou. Israel deliberately allows large quantities of non-essential products and limited basic goods in a clear policy of managing the blockade in a new way. People see these products, but don't buy them. There's no cash, no salaries, no work. More than half of the customers enter only to ask about prices, then leave silently. The markets look alive from the outside, but inside it is dead. This is, like, insane, you know, that you can get, like, crisps and sweets and all this crap, but you can't get anything else. My neighbor is taking my roommate to the pantry today because no food stamps. Crazy. The Palestinian merchant described the scene as fabricated image of media deception. Like... where is this? Collective punishment. What was I going to search? Oh, Alex Duval, and see if he's still writing about this. Alex Duval. He must have published about this. Tigray, time for new leadership. Famine's long shadow. Israel's food points are not just death traps, they are an alibi for starvation. I mean, once again, I'd probably put it in the logic of this. This is all part of pretending that things are okay in Gaza with the explicit goal of engineering a famine. With the explicit goal of, moving away from the famine. That was the part of the point of the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, you know. It's crazy. It's crazy. This is a great article, by the way, by I don't know if he wrote about Lemkin in this one. There's a brilliant article that mentions Lemkin by him, but I don't know which one it is. There's just one. Let me just. Okay. Oh yeah, shit. I don't know if this is still ongoing, because it's been ongoing during the stream. Just saw a pro-Israel TV commercial here in the States that claims Israel is a utopia that respects minorities. It's also, by the way, I'll tell you something that's really funny about this. Thanks for the donation, Coffee Lover. But I'll tell you something that's like amazingly funny about this. So one of the most racist politicians in the UK, it's a really funny story. So he was crying over a TV advert the other day, and like not in like an anti, because like he was anti the TV advert. He loved the TV advert, and the reason he loved the TV advert is because just watch the new John Lewis advert. It brought tears to my eyes. No wokery. No DEI messaging, no unusual family setups, just a father, a son, and the simple timeless love of family. A beautiful portrait of ordinary British life. Well done, John Lewis. Now, Ryle Braverman is Jewish, but his wife is called Suella Braverman. She is non-white. Her real name is Sue Ellen Cassiana Suella Braverman. Sorry, someone's messaged me on X, the everything app. I'll have to send Sorry, I was just sending an email. But yeah, like, wait. Oh, sorry. The reason I brought this up is because, so anyway, Ryle Braverman is Jewish, and he's married to a non-Jewish, he's married to a non-Jewish woman called Sue Ellen Cassandra. He has mixed race children. So what is he saying? That he's like not a typical British family? That he's not part of ordinary British life? I mean, he is a multi-millionaire, but like this guy tweets like an idiot. He tweets like, so sad, my friends gave their lives. Your wife, it bears huge responsibility. She was part of the previous government, and it's like, he's like, so sad. It's like, bro, this is you. The call is coming from inside the house. Greta Gary Neville. Oh yeah, and this is another insane story. So Ron Braslavsky, an Israeli, what were you sending me the Eric Adams Israel thing? Yeah, you were. Thanks, Tony Soprano lover. But yeah, like, he's just married to a non-white woman, and he's crying because the TV's just white people. Weird stuff. Honestly, one of the weirdest things that I've ever heard or seen. This is crazy. This is genuinely crazy. But yeah, like, honestly, I genuinely... Sorry, you just probably heard the start of Sharbetsuri. And there's... what was I trying to look at? I've seen the Eric Adams thing. I already reacted to it, which is a brilliant clip. Thanks, though, Tony. There was something else I wanted to cover that I was just about to cover. Sorry, I'm distracted, because, yeah. Right. You're the reason the old man is crying now, you mad twat. Yeah, exactly. It is JD Vance, but British. Yeah, Ryle... He's like... he quit Reform after they attacked his wife. And it's like, bro, you are like the most racist guy. You're married to a non... It is really giving JD Vance. It is really giving JD Vance. Exactly. Why are you so cucked to white supremacy? You're not white. Your wife isn't white. And you're just like, I'm crying over a John Lewis ad. Mate, like, it is a very boomer coded thing. Anyway, guys, that is probably me done for today. I may be back over the weekend. I may do a gaming stream, depends how I feel on Sunday. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for donating, supporting and watching. It's been nice to get back to it. I'm looking forward to another week of getting back into the swing, building up the viewers. Might be a TikTok stream tomorrow, but I'm going to have to do some heavy editing of clips on here, which is now capable because of my new PC. But yeah, thank you all for coming. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely Friday evening. I'm going to go and drink a ton of beer. get back to it. I'm looking forward to another week of getting back into the swing, building up the viewers. Might be a TikTok stream tomorrow, but I'm going to have to do some heavy editing of clips on here, which is now capable because of my new PC. But yeah, thank you.